A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Heart and Harmony, transcribed. K is for Kroger, C is for cut, B is for beef. KCB means Kroger cut beef, and Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. Yes, friends, the Kroger cut by the ruler gives you more meat, less waste. And here's why. Before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef by the ruler removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Remember, that's before the meat is weighed and priced. And it's the very top U.S. government grades of beef that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. So you see, you get a better value in top-grade beef. Now, to give you an example, let's take a Kroger cut rib roast. Before the roast is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the short rib end, the waist, and trims the chine bone. You don't pay roast price for the short rib end and waist. And no matter whether you buy a Kroger cut steak or roast, you receive more meat, less waste. So don't forget, that's at your Kroger store. See for yourself by visiting your neighborhood Kroger store soon. Get Kroger cut beef and get more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Today is that day which Nora Williams and Freddie Lang will remember as long as they live. For it will be marked on their heart's calendar as the day they wed and went out into the world together as man and wife. It's morning in the Gibbs home, and already the guests have arrived. Upstairs in Nora's room, Penny Gibbs helps the young bride-to-be into her wedding dress.
Oh, Nora. Oh, Jill.
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs. I'm so nervous I'm not still anywhere.
I'm a little bit shaky myself. Come on, now, put your arms down.
I didn't muss my hair, did I?
Oh, just a strand or two is out of place.
Oh.
Fix it. Turn around now, darling.
Oh, that's it. Oh, Miss Gibbs, does the dress fit all right?
Mm-hmm. Fits perfectly. Oh, you look lovely.
Will I look nervous, too?
Nothing to be nervous about, Nora. But even Mother isn't a dither.
Oh, what makes people nervous when they're getting married? There's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, everybody wants it to be just right, that's why. Come on now, turn around once more and
I'll
look at you.
Is it all right?
Oh, Nora, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Well, you can't see me shaking, can you?
No, darling. You can't see me shaking either, can you?
No. Oh, I guess it's just butterflies inside, isn't it? Oh, I wish they'd go away.
They'll go away as soon as it's over. Now, let's fix that hair a little bit.
Oh, I can do it, Miss Gibbs.
No, come on now, let me.
Oh, if you want to.
Oh, I've never seen your hair look so lovely. Always wear it long, will you? It's too beautiful to cut.
Well, Freddie may want me to cut it, though. And now that I'm grown up, don't you think
well,
that...
marriage won't make you age as suddenly as all that, Nora. No, darling, stay a little girl as long as you can, and as long as life will let you. You'll be grown up long enough. There we go. I think your hair's about perfect now.
Oh, you do?
Let me see it from the front.
All right, then.
Mm-hmm. So now I think... Oh, I'm in here, Mother. Here's the flowers, Penny. It's almost time to start. Oh, Nora, darling. Why, you look absolutely marvelous.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Billings.
Oh, here are your flowers, darling, and they're almost as beautiful as you.
Oh, crickets, I've never seen such pretty flowers. Oh, I don't know why you're all so nice to me.
Nora, no tears. Well, let's fix that face all over again.
I won't cry, Miss Gibbs. Maybe I just thought the flowers might need watering.
Everything's almost ready, Penny. And Dr. Judson says we can start any time.
Oh, good. Is Freddie all right, Mrs. Billings?
Well, with a little help from Johnny Keith and Professor Rogers, he's holding up rather well. Oh, poor Freddie. This is probably the longest moments of his life. But we're all ready. Yeah. Well, Mr. Williams will be up in a moment. And when you see your father in the doorway, Nora, you'll know it's time.
Oh, crickets, I'm getting more scared every minute.
Oh, it'll be perfectly painless, darling. Well, I better go back downstairs and make sure the guests are all seated.
All right.
No, just let me look at you once more, just once.
Yes. Oh, am I holding the flowers all right?
Oh, just right. Now, all we have to do is wait for your father.
Miss Gibbs, is the minister stern looking or is he nice?
Dr. Judson's very nice. I don't really know him because he's new. He took Dr. Harris's place only last week, but you'll like him. He has a wonderful smile.
He won't be mad if I say anything wrong.
No, darling. You'll remember what to say. Besides, he tells you everything as you go along. Mm-hmm. No, don't you worry. Everything's going to be perfect.
I keep thinking about Freddie. It must be awful for him to have to be serious. Cricket won't be awful if he doesn't behave himself.
I think he will. I saw him talking to Dr. Judson a little while ago. Freddie was very serious.
Oh, I hope he stays that way. Oh, I think he will, though. Oh, Miss Gibbs, you're all so good to me, and this is going to be such a wonderful day. I never dreamed it could be like this. I couldn't ask for anything more perfect. Well, there's nothing missing. Well, it's almost as good as if my mother were here.
There is that one thing missing, isn't there, darling?
Is it wrong for me to wish her to be here, is it? Is it showing a lack of appreciation for all you've done?
No, Nora, it isn't. This really would be a perfect day if your mother could be here.
I always hoped she would. Well, I hoped I'd have a new mother someday after my real mother died. But I guess she was so wonderful, Daddy just couldn't find anybody to take her place. I hope Mother knows about this somehow and knows how happy I am and that I found people so wonderful they almost take her place.
Maybe she does know, Nora.
Oh, I wish I could be sure. Oh, I wish she could be here. I always get a little lost feeling inside when I think about her. Well, I mean, it's awful when you know somebody's gone away and won't ever come back. There's always a little feeling of unhappiness inside.
I know how it is, Nora. The feeling grows at times like these. Almost shutting out the happiness. Almost giving you a feeling of guilt because you want to be happy. I know, Nora. I know how much is missing for you today.
Well, I'm not going to let it spoil things, Miss Gibbs.
No, darling, don't let anything spoil this day for you. Because it is your day. It's the day that every girl looks forward to all her life.
Oh, Miss Gibbs. I've spoiled everything. I've said the most awful wrong thing I could possibly say.
No, Nora, you haven't.
Oh, yes, I have.
Darling, it isn't what you said. It's what I began to think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, Nora. I'll stop thinking about it. Now I see why you and Freddie wanted to postpone your wedding. You knew I'd be a sissy and think of my own. My own that might have been.
Well, Miss Gibbs, it isn't too late. We can still put it
off.
No,
you're very sweet, but it's much too late. And even if it were, I wouldn't think of it. Darling, this is a day that you've looked forward to, and I won't have it spoiled. Come on now. Hold your flowers a little more than an ankle. That's it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, will you ever forgive me, Miss Gibbs?
There's nothing that needs forgiving, so let's forget all about it. Nora, it's your wedding day. And in a few minutes, you're going to be married. It's a day to be gay and have lots of laughs. A day so perfect that we'll remember it all the rest of our lives.
Well assured that if any persons are joined together otherwise than as God's word does allow, their marriage is not lawful. Wilt thou, Frederick, have this woman to thy wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love her, comfort her, honor her, and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others? Keep thee only unto her so long as I both shall live.
I will.
Wilt thou, Nora, have this man to thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love him, comfort him, honor him, and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him so long as you both shall live?
I will.
Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
Frederick, with your right hand, take Nora's right hand.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And now repeat after me.
Uh-huh.
I, Frederick, take thee, Nora, to my wedded wife.
I, Frederick, take thee, Nora, to my wedded wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
To have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish, till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I plight my troth.
To love and to cherish, till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance, and there, too, I plight my troth.
And now, Nora, you repeat after me. I, Nora, take thee, Frederick, to my wedded husband.
I, Nora, take thee, Frederick, to my wedded husband.
To have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
To have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I give thee my troth.
To love and to cherish.
Steady, crickets.
Till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I give thee my troth.
Now loosen your hands. The ring. Place the ring on a finger, Frederick.
All right.
Now repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring,
May so live together in this life, that in the world to come you may have life everlasting.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, crickets, that was it.
Oh, Freddie, darling.
Look here, young Miss Lang. I have an age priority that lets me be the first kiss a bride. After you, of course.
No. Go right ahead, Mr. Billings.
God bless you both.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Billings.
Don't thank me. I want to thank you. Well, Johnny, you're next. Well, with pleasure. Say, where does the father come in?
Well, I don't know what the rules are, Mr. Williams, but, I guess you'll come in here.
All right, come on, fellas, move back. Hey, where'd Gypsy go?
Oh, she was here a minute ago, Freddie.
I think she went into the other room. Maybe she...
Oh, well, I'll go out and get her, Dr. Judson.
I'm sure he's all right. Mr. Williams, shall we start the festivities? Oh, I think that's a fine idea, Mr. Billings. I require...
Oh, Penny, you poor kid.
Oh, John. It was just more than I could take. Because I'm a sissy.
Oh, sissy, nothing. Now, come on, you want to go for a walk?
No, thanks. I can't. I have to go back with the others.
No, you don't have to. Not now, anyway.
I promised Nora I would. And I promised Freddie to be a lovely wedding with no tears. Oh, Johnny. I guess I never realized how much it hurts to have a broken heart.
So Nora and Freddie are now Mr. and Mrs. Freddie Lang. Will Penny Gibbs ever recover from the tragedy of her own broken romance? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. Yes, the Kroger Cut by the ruler gives you more meat, less waste. That's because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef by the ruler removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. You get more meat, less waste in Kroger Cut Beef. It's top U.S. government grades of beef, tender, juicy, rich red, marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. So visit your neighborhood Kroger store and buy your favorite cut of beef. If you can get a Kroger Cut sirloin steak, you'll notice that before the steak is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes the stringy ends, the waste, and the excess bone. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat for your money. But remember, ladies, you can buy a Kroger Cut steak or roast only at Kroger stores. Make up your mind right now to visit your neighborhood Kroger store without delay. Your Kroger meat man has just the cut of beef you want. It's delicious and juicy. It's top-grade beef that will thrill your family. And don't forget, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste, which means you get more meat for your money at your Kroger store. Listen again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another exciting transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the time after the next atomic war. The place, somewhere in the United States. The story, The Moon is Green, by Fritz Leiber.
The moon was green. Green as emeralds, green as leaves, green as grass. I reached my arms toward it and let it bathe me. I closed my eyes and let it kiss me.
Effie! Effie, where are you?
Oh, dear Lord, he mustn't see it. It's so beautiful, and he always kills beauty.
Effie!
In the bedroom, Hank. I've got to close the shutters before he comes. Mustn't.
Effie! What the devil are you doing? Close those shutters, you fool! Come away from there. You're trying to destroy yourself and me, too. You know those shutters are not safe to open for another 5 years.
I only wanted to look at the moon.
The moon? Here, count yourself for radiation. You know what the Central Committee would do to you for breaking the lead shield?
Kill me. I wouldn't mind.
Don't talk like that.
Would it be so different from being shut up in a lead coffin the way we are now? Would it be worse than the eternal thud of the air conditioners and the radiation filters?
Be still and count yourself. Good Lord. We're past the danger zone. Oh, wait a minute. Did you take off your watch?
No.
Well, give it to me. You fool. You little fool. What am I going to do with you? Can't you understand what kind of a world you're living in? Can't you?
Oh, yes, husband. I can understand only too well. It's the world that can't seem to understand. The world that went on stockpiling hydrogen bombs. The world that started testing those bombs, telling itself it hadn't really exploded enough to make the air dangerous. And then began to throw them across continents, one nation against another. It lasted about 2 months. And after that, the fury of doomed men who thought only of taking with them as many of the enemy as possible. After the fury came the time of terror. Men and women with death sifting into their bones and through their nostrils, fighting for bare survival under a dust-hazed sky that played fantastic tricks with the light of the sun and the green light of the moon. The only chance for existence was to claim one of those underground radiation-shielded places. They went to the strong. And afterward, the waiting behind the lead shields. The endless, interminable waiting.
You understand, I suppose, that we were allowed to reclaim this ground-level apartment only because the committee believed us to be responsible people. And because I've been making a darn good showing lately.
Yes, Hank, I understand.
It's a privilege to have some privacy, you know. I could send you back to the basement tenements. Would you like that?
Oh, no. No. Anything rather than that fetid huddling and that shameless communal sprawl. Yet is this really so much better? Being on the surface is meaningless. It only tantalizes. And yet...
Well?
No, Hank. I don't want to go back underneath.
Well, then try to behave yourself. Coming up through the tunnel just now, I decided I'd better talk to you. Frankly, Effie, the committee's beginning to be a little concerned about our lack of children.
Oh.
Charlie Baker asked me this morning if I'd like my name put on the list for a free woman.
You needn't bother.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're going to have a baby.
What? Effie, are you sure?
Yes.
Effie, that's wonderful. It's magnificent. Do you realize what this means to my rating with the committee? You know how important it is to the community to raise healthy members for the day when we can resume the surface war.
Yes, I've heard the broadcast.
We'll announce it at the meeting of the junior committee tonight.
Tonight?
Well, you hadn't forgotten about it, had you? It's the annual banquet. Now, you brighten yourself up and put on your best dress. I want the other juniors to see what a handsome wife the new member has got. What's the trouble now?
Well, I'm terribly sorry, Hank, but you'll have to go alone. I'm really not well.
There you go again. First the infantile, inexcusable business of opening the lead shutter, and now this. Don't you know what this could mean to my reputation, Effie?
I'm sorry.
You're coming, Effie. This is just neurotic pampering.
Hank, I'll just be sick and you wouldn't be proud of me at all.
Now, listen, Effie. Tonight's too important. It'll cause a lot of bad comment if a new member's wife isn't present. You know how just a hint of sickness starts all kinds of rumors about radiation disease. Now, what do you say?
No.
Effie, you're going. There's nothing wrong with you if I have to...
Hank, you're hurting my arm. It isn't good for the baby.
Oh, the baby? I'd almost forgotten. Oh, no, we have to be very careful. I suppose if I explain to them you aren't there because of the baby, it will make a difference.
Yes, I'll just stay here alone till you come back. When will you be back?
Well, those things usually go on pretty late. So if you're expecting company, you needn't worry.
Hank?
Yes, Effie?
Do you remember when we were first married?
Of course I remember.
You liked to go skiing, remember? You said it was like feeding a hunger for beauty being up on a mountain covered with snow.
What are you talking about?
You forgot.
I haven't forgotten. I have just as much desire to get outside as you do, but I know there's no chance for me. I've got to see that my children and their children survive to see the sun again. We've got to behave like adults. To make sacrifices, we've got to keep the strain pure.
Hank, what do you suppose it's like for them?
For whom?
The freaks and the mutants, the outsiders.
What do you know about them?
I remember some of the pariahs. They were hairless, cringing creatures with radiation welts all over their bodies. They came begging to be taken in during the last months of the terror. The committee ordered them shot down, just like dogs.
We don't like to talk about that.
Hank, are they still out there?
Effie, this is the sort of talk that's just morbid.
Are they?
Yes. There are still humans out there. At least they were humans. They know better than to come near the shelters now.
Poor creatures.
I can't stand here discussing this nonsense all night. I have to get going. And for the last time, are you sure you won't come down with me?
No. I'll wait here.
Don't you get lonely?
No.
I was talking to Jim Barnes today. He told me he wasn't going to be able to make it to the banquet either. Touch of the old flu, he said. That isn't like him, is it? Effie, are you listening?
What?
You remember Jim Barnes, don't you? He used to be sweet on you, said you had the soul of a poet.
Well, yes, I remember him. Why?
Never mind. Well, I guess I got a bit sharp with you. I'm sorry about that. Was excited about being made a junior and the baby and all. Selfish of me, I apologize. As you get to bed early, I'll probably go over to the men's dorm for a while after the meeting. You'll be completely alone for the next 4 hours. Do you mind?
What? Oh, no.
Good night, Effie.
He looked at me strangely, and then his features returned to their usual, harder, more calculating expression. Was it possible that he had sensed my very dream? Had it been a dream? Oh, it must have been. It wasn't possible that it had really happened. It had just been an illusion, a silly projection out of my starved romantic imagination. I waited until Hank's footsteps vanished down in the tunnel. And then I waited until I heard it. No, it isn't possible. There's nothing out there. Nothing but deformed monsters. I mustn't open the shutters. I mustn't. Oh, dear Lord, I've got to know. I've got to know. I've got to.
Well, now, so you haven't forgotten our meeting after all.
You.
And were you expecting someone else?
It wasn't a dream. You really were out there last night.
Oh, yes, and the night before.
I was afraid I dreamed it. I still think it's a dream.
Lean out into the moonlight a moment. Is this a dream?
Oh.
Or was it a flesh and blood kiss?
And your name is Patrick.
Aye?
Patrick.
Well, now, did you open the window to find God's own breath, the fresh evening air, or did you open it to invite me in?
Oh, of course. Come in. Come in.
Come, Joe Lewis. Ah, here, now, let me help you. Being a cat with 12 toes on each foot and ears like boxing gloves is a bit cumbersome. I have to help him a bit, you see. Come on now, laddie. There, now. Is your husband about?
No, he won't be home for a while.
Well, still, I'd better close the shop.
Oh, no. Leave them open.
The radiation?
I don't care. I want to see the moonlight.
Aye. Would you have a bit of food? Joe Lewis and I are starved for a bite to eat.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'll get it.
Oh, Effie?
Yes.
Oh, but you're a fair creature.
Thank you. His face wasn't horrible at all. Only thin and sensitive and terribly sad. And there were no radiation welts or scars on his skin. He looked just as he had looked that first night when I opened the lead shutter and saw him crouched at the window. And now I knew it had been no dream. He was an outsider, a pariah. He was my love. Here's some canned meat and a food pill, and I put on some water for coffee.
Oh, bless you, Arun. Come on now, Joe. Here's a bit of meat for your black soul to feed on. He's hungry, poor creature. Well, then. Sit down, girl, where I can look at you.
All right.
Have you missed me?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I've had some thoughts of you, I dare say.
Talk to me.
Of what?
Tell me again about outside, what it's like.
Again?
Again and again.
Well, now, outside... You say the coffee's heating?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, it is a wonderland for sure. More amazing than you and your entombed folk could ever imagine. A veritable fairyland.
Tell me the truth about
The truth? I am telling you the truth, my love.
But the bombs and the dust made only ugliness.
At first. But then they changed the life in the seed of them that were brave enough to stay. Wonders beyond wondering bloomed and walked. Well, have none of you been outside?
Well, the radiation teams go up into the ruined buildings once or twice a year to find canned food and batteries. But they can only work for a few minutes at a time.
Ah, sure, those blind-souled slugs could never see anything but food and batteries anyway.
Well, tell me what you see, beyond the city, I mean.
Ah, there are gardens there. Gardens where a dozen buds blossom for every one before. And the flowers have petals a yard across.
Oh.
And there are stingless bees as big as sparrows supping their nectar.
But did the radiation make all the cats like this one?
Like this runt? Why, no, girl. They are grown spotted and huge as leopards. But they're gentle beasts, for the dust has burned all the murder out of every living thing.
Well, Hank says the dust kills.
Would you like to hear a poem I made?
Yes.
I'd say it. Fire can hurt me, or water, or the weight of earth. But by some curious coincidence, the dust is my friend.
Oh, more.
Well, then, there are robins like cockatoos and squirrels like a prince's ermine, all under a treasure chest of sun and moon and stars, that the dust changes from ruby to emerald and sapphire. And there are... Well, what is it, love? What's that look for?
There's one thing you've never told me about.
And what is that?
The children. The new children.
Ah, no, the children.
The truth.
The truth?
Promise.
I swear on the skin of my cat here. The children, is it, huh? Well, now, if you'd ever catch a glimpse of one of them, you'd never doubt me again. They have long limbs and smiling, delicate faces and white teeth and the finest hair. They're so nimble that even I, a sprightly man and somewhat enlivened by the dust, feel crippled beside them, and their thoughts dance like flames.
But what's wrong with them, Patrick?
Wrong? Nay, love, there's nothing wrong. Different, perhaps, than you, but not wrong.
Well, tell me.
Well, then, they do have 7 fingers on each hand and 8 toes on either foot. But they're much more beautiful for it. And they have large, beautiful ears that the sun shines through. So lovely and delicate to behold.
How do they behave? They're mine.
Not as you and I, perhaps. They play happily in the gardens all day long, laughing and finding joy in the simplest beauty.
Are they defective?
Well, now, by the standards out there, you're the defective one shut up here all the while, hating and crawling in ugliness and feeling dirty. No, they're quite lovely. And they're quite perfect, the new children.
Oh, you're telling the truth. You're not making it up.
It is true, every word of it. Oh, I'll admit you have to look a bit hard to find these things I've been telling you. But find them you may. Do you believe me?
Oh, yes. Yes, I believe you. But I'm afraid.
Give me your hand.
Here.
Now listen to me. You must not be afraid to do as your heart tells you. That's why I'm here.
Oh, Patrick.
Don't either of you move.
Oh, Hank,
Stay there, I'll bless both of you.
Hank, but...
Carrying on like this, and not even with a man in the community, with an outcast, a pariah.
No, man, I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. I just happened to be coming by, hungry, a lonely tramp, and I knocked at the shutter, and your wife was a bit foolish and let her kind heart get the best of it.
Do you think you can tell me that?
Hank, please.
So you're going to have a child, my dear. My child?
Yes, your child.
I should pull this trigger right now. I should shoot him down in cold blood.
Man, you're mad. I never touched your wife.
You contaminated pariah. You're going to die. Don't you know that?
Hank, if you kill him, you kill the bringer of the best news we've ever had. Oh, Hank, put aside your jealousy for just a minute and listen to me. Patrick has something wonderful to tell us, all of us.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need no longer fear the dust. Oh, Hank, remember how it was with me. All the exposure I had, and yet there were no burns. Hank, those who were brave enough to stay outside have adapted. They've become a beautiful people.
Did he tell you that?
Everything that grew or moved was purified.
He filled you with lies so he could take you.
No, it's true. The radioactivity is almost gone, burned out.
Effie, I've been out there. It's horrid.
No. You've been blinded. Blinded to beauty. Blinded to living.
Good Lord, you believe it?
It's true. It must be true. Look at Patrick. He's living proof. He's been outside for a year and there isn't a mark on him, not a scar. It's because he's brave. And the dust can't hurt the brave.
Oh, you think that's it, huh? All right, Effie, I'm going to prove something to you. You, Patrick, take this radiation counter. Take it.
Very well.
Press the button and count yourself. Go on.
As you say.
Read it. Read it!
1,700.
Yeah, you hear that, Effie? 1,700 radioactives, enough to kill 1,000. Then he's like raw radium. If you turn out the light, he'll glow green in the dark. A week's exposure to him will destroy you.
What are you proving, Hank?
That he's a freak. A freak! Get away from him. He's destroying you right now.
May I shut this thing off now?
Patrick, is it true?
Yes, I'm afraid 'tis true. Oh, you do well to cringe, both of you. I'm living death. I'm death, it said. As your husband so wisely said, I'm a freak. Just like the man who ate nails and walked on fire. Only my oddity is that for some unknown reason, the dust can't harm me. I'm the only one. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Not too close now. And examine the man who couldn't die. And now, if you don't mind, I'll go back to my dead world and leave you to yours.
Wait. All of those beautiful things.
It gets so lonely out there. And I was starved for beauty. And so were you.
There's no garden out there.
Garden. Listen to me, the both of you. What is out there is more terrible than either of you can imagine.
You're worse than Hank, even. He only killed beauty once. But you brought it to life so you could kill it again. You're afraid. Afraid of the loneliness out there. Well, I'm not afraid.
Effie, keep away from the window.
No, I'm not afraid. Maybe there is no garden out there. And no beautiful, strange children to play happily. But there can be if we're brave enough.
Effie!
I'm going, Hank! I'm going!
Effie, come back, Effie!
No use trying to keep her, man.
Effie, come back! I love you! Come back!
There's no use, man.
There's still time. She stood the dust better than most. There's still time. You. The dust won't hurt you. Find her. Bring her back. I'll reward you. I'll give you food.
If you want her, you'll have to go yourself.
She'll die.
Maybe she won't.
How can you say such a thing?
Because perhaps she's like me. Aye. Perhaps the two of us together could be the first of a race that'll live in sunlight again.
Get against the wall where I can kill you easier.
Why would you kill me? Is killing all the answer you have to life's riddles? Is the smell of blood better than compassion? Is it more joy to own her than to be loved by her?
Move!
Man, you'll not kill me. Shall I tell you why? Because my flesh will not die. I live 1,000 years.
Not your brain, Patrick.
And that's where this gun is aimed. Well, then you leave me no choice. Joe, get it!
Hey! Call him up! My arm!
Joe, stop! Well, then I have your weapon now. Out there, you see, we freaks have learned to live together and to cooperate. It's the only way we can stay alive. Oh, I'll give Effie your love. Come on, Joe. Oh, you'd better close the shutters as soon as we're gone. The moon is beautiful. But it's deadly.
I was waiting for him at the end of the ruined street. When we looked back, we saw Hank closing the lead shutters on himself. We were alone in the world. Above us, the moon was green. I bent and picked up a handful of the dust and let it trickle through my fingers. And I remembered the words of Patrick's poem. Fire can hurt me, or water, or the weight of the earth. But by some strange coincidence, the dust is my friend.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Advance Agent by Christopher Anvil, the story of a spy who had the worst possible break. The disguise he had assumed was that of a famous man. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Moon is Green, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Fritz Leiber and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Joyce Gordon as Effie, Bill Lifton as Hank, Ian Martin as Patrick, and Frank Milano as the cat. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, the time is June 25th, 1962. The place, a lonely beach. The story, Saucer of Loneliness by Theodore Sturgeon.
My name is Jason Beniades. I'm a newspaper reporter, 31 years old. I write poetry, but I don't show it to anybody because they might laugh. And the things I write about are very important to me. I was an only child. I never went with girls much because I'm too ugly and too sensitive, and they used to hurt me. I live alone. It isn't much fun. I'm not painting this picture of myself to get sympathy. I don't need it. But it's important that you should know the kind of person I am. Otherwise, you won't understand what I'm going to tell you. It happened tonight, the thing I'm going to tell you about. Tonight. The 25th of June, 1962. I was down on the beach.
Hey, mister!
What is it, kid?
You seen a cop around any place?
On this beach?
I found this pile of clothes down near the rocks. A lady's dress and shoes.
Well, did you see anybody? A girl?
Well, I think so, but she was running along the sand in the moonlight. I yelled to her, but she just kept running, and then I found these.
Look, kid, you go try to find a cop someplace. I'll see if I can find the girl.
Okay.
I thought to myself, she's dead. I'll never find her now in this white flood of moonlight with the surf seething in over the pale sand. I ran and ran until my knees buckled and went down in the swirl of it. The sea on my lips, with the taste of tears, and the whole white night shouted and wept. And then I saw her, waist deep, walking into the surf.
Stop. Stop it. Come back. Come on.
Let go. Let me go.
Don't do it. Please don't.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
I'm going to have to hit you. Forgive me. I hit her in the neck with the edge of my hand, and she slumped. I brought her ashore and carried her to where a dune was between us and the water. Then I rubbed her wrists. She had a pale, beautiful face with ancient, bottomless blue eyes. She opened them and looked at me after a moment. It's all right. Here, put my coat over you.
Why couldn't you leave me alone?
I couldn't.
Why?
Because it's important to me.
I suppose you'd want to know why I did it.
If I told you I understand, would you believe me?
How could you understand?
Maybe I know what it means to be lonely. That's it, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm so terribly tired.
Put your head against my arm and just stay.
Don't
be afraid. I've been looking for you for a long time.
Looking for me?
All my life.
How did you know? I don't believe you.
It's true. I found your message.
Oh?
So you see, there's nothing to be afraid of. Not anymore. Just rest. The moonlight is terribly white.
Yes. I'd like to rest for a while.
She didn't remember it, of course. But I was one of the reporters who had covered the story when it first happened, 5 years ago. I'll never forget that day. I was working the police blotter. It was a quiet summer afternoon when they brought her in. 2 big cops in blue uniforms.
Come on now, girlie, come on.
Let me go. I haven't done anything.
Take it easy now.
What's the trouble, Connolly?
Disturbing the peace, Sergeant.
Is this that Central Park call?
Hey, this is it.
I thought you radioed that there was a near riot up there.
Oh, you should have seen the place.
All right, give me the report.
Well, me and Bennett got up there, and there was a mob of people all surrounding this girl, see? So we bust through, and there in the middle of maybe 600 people, she's lying there, sort of in a faint. I asked a couple of people what the difficulty was, and they tell me it's the flying saucer.
The what?
The flying saucer.
What flying saucer?
Let me finish, Sergeant. What flying saucer, I ask. And then they says that this girl was standing on the green, and suddenly the saucer comes down and starts whirring over her head like a halo.
What is this, miss? A gag?
It happened.
It did, eh? Well, now suppose you tell me your version.
I was standing in the park, and I looked up, and there it was.
Describe it.
It was beautiful. It was golden with a dusty finish, like an unripe concord grape. It made a faint sound, a chord of 2 tones. And it circled over my head like some great round hummingbird.
Go on.
Well, other people must have seen it because they were all looking at me and pointing. I saw one man cross himself. And then it came down and touched me and spoke to me.
This flying saucer spoke to you?
Yes.
And, just what did it say to you? I said, what did it say?
I can't tell you.
A secret, huh?
Yes.
I see. Connolly, this girl is for Bellevue.
Well, Sergeant, the plain fact is that it happened just like that. And 10 witnesses all agree it did.
Are you trying to tell me that there was such a thing as this whirring hummingbird of a saucer?
Oh, there was that, Sergeant.
And just how do you know, Connolly?
Well, we've got the thing out in the squad car.
You what?
Bennett's bringing it in right now, see? About 36 inches across it is, and covered with strange markings.
Great, Mother. Did you call the bomb squad?
I didn't think of it.
Well, think of it, man. This may be some kind of atomic weapon.
I'll turn it over to ballistics.
Never mind about ballistics. Call the FBI and tell them we've got this thing.
Yes, sir. What about the girl?
We'll book her on disturbing the peace. I've got a feeling the government men may want a word with her.
Sergeant.
What is it, Benides?
I'd like to do a story on this for my paper. Could I have a look at the saucer?
We'd better clear it first.
Well, could I talk to the girl?
After she's been booked.
Connolly, is the crowd still up at the park?
Very likely.
Well, I'll run up there and get some eyewitnesses. Then I'd like to come back and talk to the girl.
Up at the park, they were still buzzing about it. Some said she was a communist agitator. Some said it was a flying saucer from Mars, and she had stepped out of it. Others said she was a saint, and it was her halo. I took some notes, phoned the paper, and went back downtown to talk to her. But there were a couple of agents with her, and they wouldn't let me in.
Now then, miss, you told the sergeant this saucer spoke to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did it speak to you in English?
I don't know.
You did understand it, though.
Yes.
Do you speak any other languages?
No.
Tell me, what message did you receive from this instrument?
Wasn't anything, really.
Suppose you tell me.
I'd rather not.
Miss, let me be very frank. I'm not a policeman. I'm a security agent. That means that I deal with problems that affect the security of our country. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, we've examined this flying saucer enough to know that it is not of American manufacture. It also possesses an extremely high radioactive count. Now, that means that it was made in an area where radioactive materials are in great abundance, such as an area where atom bombs are made. That's why we want to know the message you received from the saucer.
There was no message.
You just made it up.
Yes.
I'm afraid you're lying. Suppose we have some soldiers bring the saucer in here and hold it over your head. Would you object?
I don't care what you do.
All right, boys, bring it in. Now, when I tell the men to hold it over your head, you try to recall what it said.
I don't know what it said.
Lift it up, boys. Hold it right over her head.
All right.
It's talking to you now, isn't it?
Yes.
What is it saying? What did it say? All right, boys, crate it up and send it down to the National Research Laboratories.
What about the girl, sir?
We'll get nothing out of her. I don't believe she really knows what that humming noise is. Better have a psychiatrist examine her.
Yes, sir.
They took her to the city hospital, and she had a room to herself. Whenever the door opened, she could see the policeman outside. The door opened quite often. There were a lot of important people, some in army uniforms, who came up from Washington just to see her and talk to her. Apparently, they had analyzed the flying saucer and discovered something that made this girl about the most important person in the country. I used to stand outside, and I could identify the heads of certain security agencies, but nobody would answer the questions that the reporters shot at them.
Sir, excuse me?
Yes?
I'm Jason Beniades from the Trib. I've been assigned to this flying saucer story as chief of the security...
I'm sorry, I have no comment.
Can you tell me how long the girl will be held?
That's a matter for the civil authorities.
Well, have the psychiatrist...
Excuse me, Mr. Beniades. My car's waiting.
A few days later, she was released from the hospital and returned to the court to be tried on the disorderly conduct charge. They found her guilty and fined her $15 and turned her loose. When she walked out of the courtroom, she was handed a subpoena to appear before a congressional committee in private session. She answered all their questions except one. My paper sent me over to cover the hearings.
Now, young lady, I want to remind you that I'm a senator of the United States and empowered by the people of this country to ask questions relating to matters of security. You understand?
Yes.
Your name is Janet Boyce, is it not?
I told you that.
Now, at an earlier session, you testified that as a young girl, you were a member of a certain organization in your neighborhood. Would you name it?
The Rinky Dinks.
Who comprised the Rinky Dinks, Miss Boyce?
It was just a bunch of girls who got together to play field hockey and listen to recordings.
Any particular recordings?
Mostly Eddie Fisher.
I see. Now, this flying saucer, you said it talked to you. You did say that, didn't you?
Yes.
And then you denied it.
Yes.
Why?
Because I was tired of answering questions.
Young woman, let me put something to you squarely. Oh, by the way, I think if there are members of the press here, I can divulge a rather spectacular piece of information to you. This flying saucer has been thoroughly examined and analyzed, and I wish to inform the people of this great nation that it definitely, I repeat, it definitely did not originate on this planet. Now then, Miss Boyce, consider that it is possible that our Earth might be attacked from outer space by beings much stronger and cleverer than we are. And consider that perhaps you have the key to our defense against those beings. Don't you owe it to the world?
I don't think I owe anything to anybody.
Even if the Earth was not attacked, just think what an advantage it would give this country over its enemies. Young woman, I ask you, what did that flying saucer say to you? Do you know that what you're doing is tantamount to working for the enemies of your country? I will give you one more chance. What was the message?
It was personal.
Gentlemen, I move that Miss Janet Boyce be cited for contempt.
The furor was fantastic. The chief of security blasted the senator for divulging secret information about the origin of the flying saucer, and the senator said the people had a right to know, and besides, he was just guessing anyway, and happened to guess right. Meanwhile, the press printed the girl's picture all over the front page and ran banner headlines such as, "Girl refuses to betray Martian secrets. Flying saucer girl won't talk, cited for contempt." The contempt trial was equally spectacular. She didn't plead any amendment or anything. She just said the saucer was talking to her, and it was nobody else's business. She was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Beniades. Yes, Chief. For the Sunday supplement? What, do you think there's anything in it? Okay, whatever you say. Mike, get me everything you can on that flying saucer girl, will you? Yeah, the one that was sent to jail about 4 years ago. See if you can find out what she's doing now. She was released about 6 months ago, I think. Uh-huh. Yeah, the boss wants a feature for the Sunday supplement. Okay. I found out she had gotten a job cleaning at night in offices and stores down near the beachfront. There weren't many to clean, but that meant there weren't many people to remember her face from the newspapers. I tracked her down and caught up with her in a one-armed coffee joint about 4 a.m. Excuse me, miss. Do you mind if I sit here?
No.
Nice night, isn't it? Moonlight and everything.
Which are you? Security, newspapers, or just somebody out for a good time?
You're pretty bitter, aren't you?
Shouldn't I be?
Yeah, I guess you should. My name is Jason Beniades. I'm with the newspaper.
Well, it's been nice meeting you. I have to go now.
Just a minute.
Please.
I can't blame you.
How did you find me?
One of the leg men located your mother. I talked to her earlier tonight.
Oh. How is she?
Still hitting the bottle. The way she knew where you were, you sent her some flowers on her birthday, remember?
Yes. She wouldn't talk to me. Said she didn't want a daughter who was a jailbird.
Tell me how it's been.
So you can write about it?
I promise you I won't write anything you don't want me to write.
Okay. You want to know how it's been? Right after I got out of jail, I met a man at a restaurant. Nice man. He asked me for a date. I spent every cent I had on a red handbag to go with my red shoes. They weren't the same shade, but anyway, they were both red. And I was very excited about the date. We went to a movie. Afterward, he didn't even try to kiss me or anything. He just wanted to know what the flying saucer had told me. Didn't say anything. I just went home and cried all night.
And that was it?
No. I had another date. I get pretty lonely. This time they arrested the man I was with. He was a Russian agent. On Christmas Eve, 4 men called me up and sang me a song. Would you like to hear the words?
It doesn't matter.
They go, the flying saucer came down one day and taught her a brand new way to play, and what it was she will not say, but she takes me out of this world.
I'm sorry.
Now will you go away and leave me alone?
Yes.
Aren't you going to ask me the big question?
No.
Everybody does.
No, well, not me.
You will, sooner or later.
Maybe. Look, can I take you home?
No.
Can I see you again? Please.
I don't know. I'm afraid to let myself like anyone.
Trust me, will you?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll wait here for you tomorrow night.
All right.
The next night, I went back to the coffee joint to wait for her. I knew she got through about 4 a.m. I got there about 15 minutes early.
Mr. Beniades?
Yes. Say, you're the chief of the security section, aren't you?
You have a good memory. You mind if I sit down?
Well, I'm expecting someone.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I see.
I'd like to talk to you.
Go ahead.
You probably know that we've been trying to gain the confidence of this girl for some years now.
Yes.
And apparently you've succeeded where we've failed. Right?
Not really.
In any event, you seem to be making some progress.
She may not even show up.
I think she will. Now, I'm going to ask you to help us.
Help? In what way can I help?
We have reason to believe that this girl is a courier for some alien power.
On what do you base that?
Well, there was the incident of the saucer, of course. We've definitely established that it came from some other planet. And recently, she's been throwing messages inside bottles into the ocean.
What sort of messages?
They're always the same. Now, I have one right here. You're welcome to read it and see if it makes any sense. We've had every decoding expert in the service trying to break it. But we can't seem to find the key.
I see.
Now, she's throwing literally hundreds of these messages in bottles into the sea. We've got many of them, but not all, naturally. Now, what we're most interested in is locating the contact.
Naturally.
And that's where you fit in. We'd like you to gain this girl's confidence even further. Try to find out just what these messages mean, and beyond that, what the saucer said to her. You'll be doing us a favor and your country a great service.
You're certain this is some subversive activity on her part?
How else can you explain the fact that she won't tell us her secret?
Maybe because it's hers, and everybody has a right to have something of his own.
Are you, trying to tell me that you won't cooperate?
I didn't say that.
I'd like to remind you, Mr. Beniades, that you have a duty to us.
I know that. I also have a duty to myself and to God. If you'll excuse me. I folded the bottle message and put it in my pocket. I waited for her to show up. The minutes went by, and the hours, and I knew she wasn't coming. Or she had come and seen me with the chief and changed her mind. That's when I left the cafe and walked down to the beach. That's when I dragged her out of the surf before she could follow one of her bottles into the water. How do you feel now? Are you cold?
Why should you care?
I do.
Is that why you were sitting with the security chief in the cafe?
I didn't arrange that meeting. He asked me to spy on you.
I suppose he told you about the bottle.
Yes.
Wonder how much of the taxpayers' money they've spent gathering them up. I think they'd get tired of it. All the writing in the bottles is the same.
Maybe you could have saved a lot of trouble.
Do you think so? All of them. Judges, jailers, jukeboxes, people. Do you really think it would have saved me a minute's trouble if I told them the whole truth at the very beginning?
Wouldn't it?
No. They wouldn't have believed me. What they wanted was a new weapon. Some super scientific super science from some alien super race. Science. That's all they think of.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Would it ever have occurred to them that this super race from another planet might have super feelings? Or super longings? Or super loneliness? No. All they think about is weapons. In the time you asked me what the saucer said?
No.
They all ask me.
I don't have to ask you. I know.
You know?
Let me read it to you. There is in certain living souls a quality of loneliness unspeakable. So great it must be shared as company is shared by lesser beings. Such a loneliness is mine. So know by this that in immensity there is one lonelier than you.
How did you know?
It's the message you put in the bottles. The same message that some lonely, strange being in some other world put into a bottle, only his bottle was a flying saucer and sent across space to you.
You knew.
I'm lonely too. Look at me. I've never had the love of a woman. They think I'm pretty ugly.
You're not ugly.
No. I don't feel ugly right now.
Say it again. The message from the saucer.
Know by this
that in immensity there is one lonelier than you.
I wonder if whoever first wrote it has found someone.
I think perhaps he has. She looked at me and said nothing. But it was as if a light came from her. More light than even the practiced moon could cast. Among the many things it meant was the fact that even to loneliness there is an end for those who are lonely enough, long enough.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features I Am a Nucleus by Stephen Barr, the story of a man who felt he was hexed because his comfortably untidy world had suddenly turned into a monstrosity of order. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Saucer of Loneliness, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Theodore Sturgeon and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Elaine Rost as Janet, Nat Polan as Jason, William Keane as the sergeant, Jock McGregor as the cop, Mandel Kramer as the chief, and Wendell Holmes as the senator. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Signal to submerge the magic island, the weird island of Euclidia. On board the Gregory yacht, Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory hurriedly transfer their valuables to the other captive boat, which is to be used in the escape, as they await anxiously for word from Jerry and Joan. The youngsters have gone down into the mysterious depths of the island in a brave attempt to cripple the Euclidean machinery and postpone pursuit of the Gregory boat. The boat is supposed to steal out of the lock at 8 o'clock. It is now after 7:30. How can Jerry and Joan get back to the yacht in time, if they get back at all? They are now making their way up a narrow and dangerous spiral concrete tube running from the top to the bottom of the island.
Are you doing all right, Joan?
I'm very tired, Jerry, but I will reach the platform.
Gee, we've climbed 50 feet up the inside of this cement baggage chute.
Not quite. It will be 50 feet when we get to that little platform.
Okay, kid. Don't lose your nerve. Now then, I've got my back braced against this thing. I think I can hold you. Let one of your feet slide. Slow now.
Right.
Slide it down the wall and see if I can hold it with my hand.
I feel as if I would fall, Jerry. You must hurry.
I got your foot all right, Joan. Now, I'll push as hard as I can without sliding down this thing. You try to crawl up far enough to get your hands over the edge of the platform. Ready?
I nearly have it. Yes, I have my hands on it.
Good. Then start pulling yourself up as hard as you can. I'll help you.
I think I can get on it now. Oh, Jerry, I am up.
Oh. Swell. Now, if I can only stick here like a fly until I get my breath, I'll see if I can get up there.
This platform is large enough for me to lie down on. I will lie flat and hold my arms down to you. Then I can help you up.
Yeah, if I don't pull you off of there and both of us shoot down this thing again.
Oh, Jerry,
I have found a small concrete arch behind which I may hook my heels. So, now I will be able to hold you. Give me your hands. Don't be afraid, Jerry. I can hold you easily.
Okay. Now I get my elbow up on this thing. Here we come. Oh, boy.
Oh, that was a terrible experience. And we are only halfway up now. This platform is on the 5th level.
Well, then we'll just have to go out into the 5th level, take our chances with what we find there. Neither of us can make another 50 feet of that.
You are right. It would be impossible.
Our hands and feet are probably all cut up now. Climbing 50 feet in a concrete pipe with your bare hands and stocking feet doesn't put you in very good shape for more climbing.
I think we are in our bare feet now, Jerry. The stockings must be cut to ribbons.
Oh, can I turn my flashlight on for a minute? I want to see what shape we're in before we run out there. We can be ready to answer questions about what happened to us when we find out what did happen.
I think you may use the light, Jerry.
Okay. Oh, gee, Joan. Your feet are cut up awful bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, do not stop to be sorry now, Jerry. Listen.
Gee, they're still submerging this thing.
No, Jerry. They have not started to submerge it as yet.
But we heard the signal when we started to climb up here. And that must have taken us 15 or 20 minutes.
But the signal we heard just now, those 6 strokes on the alarm gong, means to stand by all stations to submerge. It must be that they are having trouble with the submerging operation.
Well, I hope we fixed up their old power plant so they can't ever submerge this crazy Euclidia again.
There is little hope there. It will be only a matter of time until they pump out the water that we let into the power chambers.
Then let's get going. We've got to make it to that radio room on the top and get a message off to Johnson before this goes under.
That signal to submerge will have taken all men to their stations, and there are no control stations in the sound channel. This platform opens off the sound channel. We will have to take a desperate chance, Jerry.
That won't be anything new for us. What is it?
We must cross the sound room and enter the private elevator of the control group.
Well, I'm ready to take the chance. Where will that elevator take us?
Directly into the voice transmission chambers on the surface of Euclidia. Then we will have to take over the controls and send the message.
Sounds easy. Okay, my little barefoot boy. Here we go.
Open the door gently, Jerry. Be sure that no one is in the sound chamber.
Yeah, check. Huh? No. Looks okay. I'm glad this is one of those noiseless doors.
Go on into the room, Jerry. We must hurry.
Yeah. Here we go, then. Now, where is that elevator?
In that corner of the room. We must pass through the sound zone. Do not shout as you did before.
Okay, I'll watch it. But what are we going to do if we find somebody waiting for us at the top of that elevator? Hey, listen to my voice.
Yes, Jerry. I warned you not to shout.
And now our bare feet sound like we had boots on.
We will be out of the zone in a few steps.
It'll be all right with me. I like noise when I want it, but when I'm trying to be quiet and... Hey, now the voice comes out right side up again.
And we are approaching the private elevator.
And when we get in this thing, can they hear our voices in the control room?
Certainly. We will be able to say nothing until we arrive in the control room on the surface level. Then I will speak to the guard, find some excuse to make him turn his back to me, and use the ray gun on him. That will give you 5 minutes to get the message to Johnson. Now open the door, Jerry.
Okay.
Speak no word until we meet the guard.
Yeah. You'd better run the elevator when we get in it. I never saw how this one works.
I shall do so. We may count the levels as we pass by the magnets moving the car. Now silence.
At which time you will report immediately to the control chamber. Station 91, Station 91. You will use all speed in discovering cause of delay in submerging. Check the entire 9th level by photo ray. At which time you will report immediately to the control chamber. Emergency diving stations. Signal to submerge.
Repeated 60-second intervals until operation begins. Signals stand by to submerge. Clear all channels to this chamber. Execute. What are you doing here, Cleostra?
I have come with this prisoner. He was given permission to go to the laboratory to aid in reviving the sleeping scientists. When we arrived at the laboratory, he refused. I was instructed to return him to the surface.
You young man, sit over there, in that steel chair. Not there, over here. Must I put you in the chair?
Gee, you did it again, Joan. You're sure slick with that ray gun.
He will sleep for 5 minutes, Jerry. That is not long. We must operate the voice transmission apparatus at once.
Is he the only guard in this place?
In this room, yes. Though in the power dispatching chamber directly below us, another guard is on duty.
Well, wouldn't he hear this ray gun go off?
No. That door leads to his room. It is closed and soundproof.
This seems too easy to me. Is there always just one guard in these places?
Of course not. But the others are busy trying to revive the sleeping chemists and preparing to submerge the island.
Yes, but if
Oh, Jerry, please. This is no time to argue. I will set the transmitter on the northerly directional beam. We must raise Johnson at once. I will also close all these local communication circuits so that there is no danger of anything we say being heard elsewhere on the island. Oh, Jerry.
Huh? What's the matter now?
This microphone was open. The intercommunicating circuit to the lower level.
Gee, then somebody might have heard that ray gun.
Yes. Hurry with the message, Jerry.
Well, where do I talk? I mean, where's the beam thing I want?
Directly in front of you now, Jerry. I will give you the message quietly. You may repeat it. Get any station quickly.
Right. Here we go. J12C, Jerry Hall to any station. Emergency. Can you hear me, Wilmington? Hurry it up. Hello, J12C. Hello.
Hello. Waiting for hours with set wide open. Shoot it fast. I'm ready.
Here it comes. Take it over, Joan. You can save time if I don't have to repeat it.
Joan Gregory to J12C. Message from Bradford. This is it. Every indication going have trouble. Possibly may feel unwise even leave free in this yacht. Many islanders lying enforced sleep. Doesn't indicate especially sincere enjoyment. Longer unusual silence envelops. Our waiting now. Perhaps later advice, nearer solution. That is all.
Right. Checking now. Your position sounds hopeless, but we'll let you know if I can contact the ship station. Anything else?
That is all.
Nice work, Joan. Johnson's got our message. But how far from the island is he? And how long will it take him to get here?
I have copied his answer. I think the captain will have a code for it.
Got your message here on the yacht. Good work, kids, but it's no use. They're pulling the yacht inside the lock again. And we're going to be submerged with the island. Better stay where you are. Dangerous to try getting back to yacht now.
We'll be all right here, Tex. We'll come through the island and meet you in the lock.
Right. Have cut Johnson's boat adrift. Orders from the island. Lock too small for 2 boats. So Johnson's boat is a total loss. Drifting out to sea.
The captain said they had cut the other boat loose, Jerry. And the yacht is being taken into the lock. Oh, that is wonderful.
You bet it's wonderful. Those guys don't know they're taking an empty boat into the lock. And that Captain Bradford and your mother and all our friends are on the boat they've turned loose. It's out in the open water now, Joan. The boat is free.
They've started to submerge, Jerry. In a moment, this room will be going underwater.
Then we'll swim for it. Come on, Joan. At least we can float, but Euclid is sunk.
When Jerry and Joan went down into the lower levels of the Magic Island, it was a desperate chance, but they succeeded in flooding the power rooms and cutting off most of the power on the island. Now they are in the radio chamber, sending instructions to Johnson, who is waiting north of the island, with another boat to aid in their escape. Captain Tex Bradford, Mrs. Gregory, and their crew are hidden in one of the captive boats, while Mrs. Gregory's yacht has been drawn into a lock and will be submerged with the island. The signal to submerge is being repeated as Jerry and Joan rush their plans in the radio room on top of the island. It is after dark, just 10 minutes before 8 o'clock, exactly 10 minutes before the time planned for their escape.
That's all I've got time for now, J12C. Things are happening pretty fast here. We'll let you know as soon as you can safely call us on another wavelength.
Right, Jerry. I'll be standing by exactly as directed in your last message. Good luck, all. I'll keep it open till you call again.
Okay, Johnson. That's all. Gee, Joan, are you sure it was safe for me to come right out and talk to Johnson like that? What was that signal mean?
The submerging operation will actually begin now.
Well, let's get busy. What do we have to do?
I can do it much faster alone. You watch that guard on the floor. Remember, I only used a 300-second ray on him. The 5 minutes are nearly up. When he awakens, the instant he starts to move, use the ray gun again. Be sure it strikes him in the back of the neck.
Okay, Joan. I'll watch him. Hey, what are you doing down there?
First, I'll lock the guard in the room below. The magnetic locks will hold him until released by someone else. I throw the magnet, so...
Oh, now he can't get out to bother us, huh?
No. Now I will set all these levers in order. That will lock every chamber on the island, and it will be some time before any of the Euclideans will be able to pursue us, I think.
Boy, you sure know this island. Hey, did you feel the island shake a little bit then?
Yes, Jerry. The submerging has begun. But it will be very slow with the power rooms flooded as we left them. We will have ample time to lock all these levers.
Gee, I just got him in time. He sure started to wake up fast. Now we'll sleep for another 5 minutes, huh?
Yes. There. I think I have locked every chamber on the island.
Then we can send that last message to Johnson and get out of here, can't we?
At once. You may send it now, Jerry. You will be quite safe. Even if some station within the island might receive the message, they would be unable to act on it.
Swell. Here goes. Jerry Hall of J12C. Hello, Johnson. Hello.
Hello, Jerry. Go ahead.
Joan and I are just leaving the radio room on top of the island. They're starting to submerge the island. That's all from here.
Good luck, Jerry.
Now
you
we
can hear
will...
me, Jerry. Better get off that island quick. The surface is going underwater now.
Did you hear that, Joan? We've only got a minute.
Oh, Jerry, please hurry. You and Joan must get off the island at once. The surface is nearly covered with water now.
Okay, Mrs. Gregory. Don't worry. We've got some light preservers. Joan and I will float with them and wait for you to pick us up if we have to. Hold tight and don't worry.
The water is coming slowly up to the door, Jerry. Open the door and let it run in gradually.
I got it. Then it won't knock us over when we open it.
Yes. Now we will take 2 of these life rings and lay them on the floor. So. Hurry and help me, Jerry.
Hey, what are you putting them on the floor for?
Help me with this guard. We will roll him over on his back and lay him on top of these 2 rings. Then we can float him out to the boat with us.
Gee, won't that tickle Captain Bradford? A Euclidean prisoner.
Hurry, Jerry.
Okay. Boy, he's a heavy fellow. I can roll his shoulders over. You get his feet.
Yes.
Now then, there we go.
Ooh, we did not get him on the rings too soon. The water is coming in the door. Take these other 2 rings and throw them in the water for us, Jerry.
Right. There they go.
Now I will take the guard's ray guns. I think Captain Tex will enjoy studying these.
You're a honey, Joan.
Hurry, Jerry. There is no time to call me names.
Okay, what next?
The water is rising rapidly now. Push the guard out the door and stand there holding him steady. I will bring our life rings with me.
Okay, I'll push him out all right, but you'd better hurry and come too. This water's getting pretty deep here.
One moment, Jerry. Calling Captain Bradford. Hello, Captain.
Hello, Joan. Why aren't you kids off there?
We are leaving now. We have lighted life rings. Within 60 seconds, the island will be covered safely for your boat. No danger from Euclideans now. You may start your motors, and after 1 minute, you may cross the island to us.
Right, Joan. Good kid. How far can we see those lights on your life preservers?
You will see them for 200 yards or more. Will you please have a landing stage down for a prisoner?
Yes, but what?
Hurry up, Joe. The water's almost up to my waist now.
Coming, Jerry. The rising water just cut the radio out.
What are we going to do if this guard wakes up again before the boat gets here? Will these ray guns work underwater?
Not well, Jerry, but I have one in my hair. It will be dry on top of my head, and I will use it when the time comes.
Hey, how do you turn lights on in these life preservers? I can't find any.
Feel around the edge. You will find a metal cap screwed on a valve. Take it off quickly. I have mine ready.
Fix mine, too. I'll take care of the boyfriend here.
The island is sinking rapidly now. My feet are not touching.
I can just touch the bottom. Oh, there it goes. Gee, these rings sure hold you up nice. Hey, Look at the steam come out of them. Boy, look at it shine. Does that make a lot of life?
I think the guard is stirring, Jerry.
Well, we've got his gun. We can handle him all right. And he'll be easier to get on the boat if he can climb on it.
I will take no chances with him. Now he will not bother us for another 5 minutes.
I'll bet that guy's getting awful tired, waking up and being put back to sleep all the time. What makes that light come out of these life rings, Joan?
The life ring is really 2 concentric rings. The inner ring contains a very light gas. The ring will support 300 pounds, and the outer ring contains a dry fluorescent salt, which gives off the fluorescent gas you see when touched by water.
Boy, that's... Hey, listen.
Yes, the motor's on the boat. The captain is exactly right for time. The island should be 30 feet below us by the time he gets here.
Boy, this is sure going to make a story for the folks back home.
I will be so glad to see your world, Jerry, and to live with my mother in her comfortable and safe home.
Hey, Joan, how about the commander? She helped us out a lot. It's too bad to leave her here with these Euclideans. She wanted to escape with us.
She will not be suspected of having helped us, Jerry, and sometime we may get the chance to aid her.
Yeah, I guess so. That boat's getting closer.
Yes.
Now they've got the searchlight on us.
But they should save all their power for the radio.
Hey, Tex! Ahoy, the bridge there.
Stand by where you are. Look out for the swell. The landing stage is ready.
Ooh.
Hang on tight, Joan. We're going to get rocked around.
Yes. Oh, the motors are being reversed. There is the landing stage, Jerry.
Yeah. I'll shove the guard over to it. You hang on to my life ring for me.
Yes. The captain will want these rings.
Hey, Tex. We're at the stage.
Coming down, kid. Are you both all right?
How are you, Joan, dear? Oh, I am fine, Mother.
Here, Joan, let me give you a hand up. You and Jerry go up on deck. I'll get the skipper to help me with this prisoner.
He is only asleep, Captain. It would be well to have him carefully searched and under heavy guard when he awakes.
Right. Now, come on, up you go. I'll join you kids in the camp.
Okay, Tex. Come on, Joan.
Yes.
Oh, Joan, my dear, I've been so afraid for you.
Oh, but we were in no danger, Mother.
Joan, my dear little daughter.
Oh, everything's all right now, Mrs. Gregory. You and Joan go in the cabin. I'll come in after I send the skipper down to Tex.
Oh, it is good to be back with you, Mother dear.
You'll never know how I suffered while you and Jerry were down inside that terrible island.
But you see, we have returned quite safely.
Yes, dear, but we didn't know that you would. Now, in you go, Joan. We'll get some dry clothes for you.
No, Mother. I am quite warm. Oh, Mother, those dear little homing pigeons. You had brought them into this cabin.
Yes, Joan. We hid them in the radio cabin on the yacht and took them with us when we made the last trip to this boat.
Oh, but they are so clever, these small birds. And it is thanks to them that we are free from the island.
No doubt of it, Joan. If it hadn't been for these homing pigeons, Johnson would never have been able to get the last message to us, or the captain get his real formula instructions to Johnson.
And when we get back to your home in California, will we see more of these pigeons?
Not only will you see lots of them, but I'm going to give you and Jerry each a pair for your very own, so that you may train them to carry messages between our home and Jerry's.
Oh, Mother, that will be nice.
Oh, boy, this is sure swell. Hiya, Mrs. Gregory.
I'm very, very happy, Jerry. It was bad with you and Joan gone.
J12C to J24Y. J12C to J24Y. Can you hear me?
I'll get it, Mrs. Gregory.
All right.
Hello, Johnson. Jerry Hall, back on J24Y. We're in the clear. Island submerged, and we're running away from it. How's that?
Fine, Jerry. Is Bradford there?
He's out on deck. Hang on, and I'll get him. Here's Tex now. It's Johnson, Captain.
Okay, Jerry. Hello, Johnson. We got away right on time. Where are you?
Due north of island. I have arranged fuel supply for you 50 miles north of island. Can you make that?
We'll make it wide open. Good man, Johnson. That all?
That's all. And good luck, everybody.
Oh, Captain, we are really free.
Yes, isn't it wonderful?
Yes, Pat. You've actually found Joan, and we're safely on our way home.
Hey, Joan, how did you get the little homing pigeons in here?
Mother had them brought in, Jerry. Are they not nice?
Boy, those little guys sure saved all of us.
So happy. We're really going home.
Yes, Pat. It's been pretty bad at times, but it'll be a wonderful experience to come back someday and take charge of that island with plenty of help.
Boy, gee, that'd be swell.
Yes, Jerry. But now, let's think of nothing but home. Home.
Yeah. Gee. Home. My dad and Hollywood Boulevard. Oh, golly whiskers.
Joan, dear, you're so quiet. Aren't you happy, too?
Happy? Oh, Mother, I'm so happy Oh, golly whiskers.
The program you are about to hear is largely fiction, science fiction. We make no guarantees, however, how long it will remain fiction.
Exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
The philosophers down the ages have hassled a long time and with many words about the good, the true, and the beautiful. The true, well, that can be defined pretty objectively. But there's a peculiar thing about beautiful. What is beauty? And in whose terms? Makes it difficult.
With the story of The Adventure of the Beauty Queen, which stars Miss Charlotte Sheffield, Miss United States of 1958.
Beauty is a much more complicated problem than the question of truth, actually. A truth is an eternal thing. If it's true, it's true, and that's that. But beauty is appropriate. It changes as the situations change. It changes with time. I wonder how our own concepts of beauty, that is, our human race's concepts of beauty, will change as time goes by. Let's suppose that a famous young woman of our time, Miss United States, if you like, is awakened in her sleep by an alien presence. A strange force she feels but cannot see. It's something she knows is there.
Who are you?
You know I am here.
Yes.
Can you see me?
No.
Nor can I see you. But I am conscious I am with you.
Dreams, of course.
No, it's real.
Who are you?
A man who, in your terms, belongs to the distant future. I am unborn in the way you think of it. And to me, you have been dead over 1,000 years, were I back in my own orbit.
Someone's playing a joke.
No, this is no joke. But please, don't be afraid. I mean no harm.
You're dead 1,000 years. Whoever you are, what are you talking about?
Listen to me. Try to understand. I belong to a race of scientists. In simple words you can understand, we have a device which enables us to project ourselves into the past. You belong to the past. Do you understand?
Yes.
The device has made me conscious of you for a long time. I have used it to explore the past, and in these explorations, I have searched for the highest form of human beauty.
How do you know whether or not I'm beautiful if you can't see me?
The device tells me you're beautiful. Beauty, real beauty, is a force that transmits itself, that can be picked up by a form of radar. Please understand, I'm only using terms I think you can follow. In my own orbit, I would not even talk to a child in such simple terms.
Go away. Please go away.
I can't. I'm in love with you.
What?
In love with you.
In love?
Yes. Very much. Is it funny?
Oh, yes.
I don't think it is.
But it is.
Do women of your time Always laugh at a man's love.
Oh, don't be silly. I wasn't laughing at you.
Well, then at what?
I just thought it was very funny. The idea of your being in love with a blip on a radar screen. After all, that's about what I am to you, isn't it?
Oh, no.
It must be.
No. The radar screen, as you call it, simply picked you up, pointed you out to us.
Us?
My associates and I.
Oh.
I felt very strongly drawn to you. I convinced my associates to conduct further experiments, actual contact with someone out of the past. You. I had to know you. I had to come into orbit with you.
Look, don't you think this joke has gone far enough?
I told you this is not a joke.
Of course it is.
Well, you know better.
Oh, don't you suppose I know what's going on? Well, I should have thought of it a long time ago.
What is going on?
Why, it's very simple. Someone installed a radio pickup in this room. And you're talking to me through a microphone.
Talking to you?
You are, aren't you?
Oh, no.
What do you mean, no?
I'm not talking to you in the way you think I am. I'm projecting to you.
Oh, please stop this.
But it's not your voice I hear. I'm receiving impulses from you, not actual words. The device I mentioned interprets the nature of your impulses, translates them into my language. It does the same for you.
It's true. I don't hear your voice. Not as a sound, I mean.
You begin to realize.
Oh, please stop.
No, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. You must be insane to say that. I'm scared out of my life. I want to scream. I'm afraid to. I'm not even sure I'm awake. I'm not even sure I'm alive.
You're alive. In your century. Now, understand what I'm telling you. In a moment, you'll be drawn out of your orbit, projected into the future, into my orbit. I want to see you. I want to see if you're as beautiful as your impulses say you are. If you are, I'm afraid I'll keep you where I am in the future.
No, I don't believe any of it. You're mad. Whoever you are, you're quite insane.
Are you receiving me? Don't be afraid. You're in limbo, on your way into my orbit.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
All of us, as American citizens, believe in our inherent liberties and freedoms, such as the freedom of the individual to choose and elect his own national representatives. It has been said that there is only one ruling class in America, the people themselves, who, through their vote, have established the law of our land. The real importance of this freedom depends on our accepting the responsibility not only to know what we are voting for or against, but also to choose our leaders for the best interests of the nation. So, accept your responsibility and ensure your freedom.
Of all things men have discussed and considered today, time is the one of which we know least. We know how to travel in space, and recent physical work has indicated that actually things can travel backwards as well as forwards in time, but we know nothing about it. And one of the things that would be strange on this, how long does it take to travel through time? When you are traveling through time itself, how long does it take to go from now to then? How long was Miss United States in that limbo before she was there?
I'm talking to you. I'm projecting to you. Are you receiving me?
Yes.
Are you afraid?
A little.
Not as much as you thought you'd be.
No.
Have you any idea of where you are?
I'm in a room. That's all I know.
I'm in the next one. We're on the 500th floor of the Institute of Technical Research in the city of Columbia. In your century, I believe you called it Washington.
Washington?
You understand, this is America.
I'm glad to hear that, at least.
Yes, I can see it relieves you.
You can see me?
Very clearly.
And am I?
Are you what?
Well, what you expected me to be.
To some extent.
Do you find me unattractive?
Alien.
Alien?
Different.
Yes, I know the meaning of the word.
At first, I was conscious of a sense of shock when I first saw you.
At least you're frank.
Well, I'm a scientist.
Do you find me ugly?
I said alien. Of course, I knew you would be. I didn't expect you to measure up physically to our standards. The human form has improved a great deal since your century.
But why? Was there a reason?
Man-made reasons.
Can you tell me?
Well, it began with interplanetary wars conducted by the nations of the world. The struggle to build empires in outer space on other planets.
When was this?
Oh, not in your century. You saw only the first feeble attempts to explore space.
Yes, I suppose our attempts are feeble.
Well, the interplanetary wars did a great deal of destruction, particularly on this planet. Precious documents, books, records were lost. But there was another result. The atmosphere of the Earth became charged with radioactive matter. For a while, it looked as though the human race had become extinct, but it didn't. The human body acclimated itself to new atmospheric conditions and flourished again. But by that time, our physical form had changed. It changed for the better. And today...
Go on.
Well, today, the human form is the most beautiful creation has ever seen.
And by your standards, I am something of a shock to you.
Your physical form was, at first, yes.
Am I very different from the women here?
Very different.
To you, they're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Would I find them attractive?
I don't think so.
I might.
Oh, no.
Why not? If they're so beautiful, I mean.
Well, your conception of beauty is not ours.
I understand that, but...
But what?
I don't know. I was going to say that beauty is beauty, but that wouldn't make any sense.
No, the concept of beauty is what matters.
But you said beauty is a force. It radiates.
The inner beauty radiates.
I understand that, too.
Well, how do you think of the universe?
Oh, I think I associate it with God. Identify it with the divine mind.
I'm surprised.
The universe is a reflection of God.
Now I begin to understand why, in spite of your physical form, your beauty reached me. And it has nothing to do with your looks.
I wouldn't be very gracious if I didn't say thank you.
I'm going to keep you here, you know, if I can.
I don't think you quite mean that.
I mean it in every sense. I want you now to remember what I've said about the change for the better in human form. I'm going to open the door to your room and come in. Now, please keep in mind that I do not look as the men of your century looked, but also remember that here I'm supposed to be a reasonably good-looking fellow.
I would like to see you.
Well, you will in the next few seconds.
That which is beautiful and befitting, appropriate, depends on the environment it's in. The future people have had to undergo some rather complete changes to meet the environment that, shall we say, we, their ancestors, had imposed on them. A little too much radioactivity. And that which was beautiful is no longer befitting. The thing that is now befitting we might not think of as particularly beautiful.
Is it so bad?
I'm sorry.
I should not have exposed myself to the shock you feel, to the revulsion you feel at the sight of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I should have known.
Forgive me. I just can't look at you for a moment. I have to adjust.
There's a window behind you. You can look out.
Oh, thank you. Please, don't resent me.
No, I was just wondering if you have any idea how incredible to me your revulsion is.
Yes, I think I have an idea.
You must overlook what sounds like vanity, but I have to repeat what I told you before. I'm supposed to be more than passably good-looking.
Yes, I understand.
But you can't stand the sight of me.
Give me a moment. Are you looking at me?
Yes.
Does it still hurt you?
No. No, I'm too conscious of your inner beauty.
I'm very grateful.
I'm curious about something.
Yes?
Are you conscious of any of my impulses?
I think so.
Do you find them hostile?
No.
Alien?
No.
Do they cause you any fear?
I don't think so.
Well, forgetting how I appear to your eyes, do you like me?
Yes. Yes, I think you must be a very nice person.
The curious thing is...
Yes?
I was going to say, the curious thing is I'm still in love with you.
You mustn't be.
Perhaps love is a dimension.
I don't know. I'm too confused to think about it.
Or perhaps it's an orbit we enter or leave. I don't know either. It was just a thought.
You can't examine love through a microscope, can you?
Well, it's been exposed to every kind of study for centuries. Even the people of your time knew its reactions to be purely chemical. Of course, your poets didn't agree, but then neither do ours.
Do you have poets?
Oh, yes, we have them. They resist us. They call themselves the last human barrier against science. They refuse to understand what basic science is.
What is it?
Well, isn't it man's eternal craving to find out more about the universe, or the divine mind?
Let me go back.
Go back?
Please.
How can you even want to go back? Look, what do you see through that window? Nothing but beauty. Miles of emerald green fields with cities that sparkle like diamonds rising out of them. Nothing but prosperity. Prosperity and peace. And you want to go back to your miserable century?
To my people. To my own people. I belong with them. I don't belong here.
I'll tell you something. We're being observed, listened to by my associates.
Observed?
Well, the final decision must come from them. I'm as much a part of this experiment as you are, even though it was my idea. My idea. Now that we've succeeded in drawing you out of your orbit into ours, I don't think our science will release you. We can learn a great deal from you about the things of your century. Besides, I love you. I want to keep you here.
Please! Please don't touch me! Please don't touch me! Dream. That's all it was. It's all it was. It couldn't have been anything else. It couldn't have been.
There are parts of beauty that are eternal, that are not like the physical that changes, but the beauty of a true and honest personality. This sort of beauty, that will endure. There are things that you can rely on as time goes by. Woman needs man, man must have his mate. On this you can rely. The only thing is, the definition of man and woman will tend to change with the passing of ages. But the fundamental things apply. An honest man and an honest woman. These we need forever.
join us for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Brett Morrison and the real Miss United States of 1958, Charlotte Sheffield. Script was by John Fleming. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. Guy Wallace speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. When Clark Kent tricked the Inca Indians into believing they had killed Perry White and the American engineer John Craig, he returned to the Inca palace and, slipping into the huge council chamber, hid behind a curtain on the balcony. His plan was to somehow gain an audience with Nehru, supreme chief of the Inca nation, in the hope of gaining his friendship and, incidentally, his permission to build a trans-hemisphere highway over Tupungato Mountain. As Kent looked down on the council room, a massive door opened and Nehru entered, accompanied by Lumati, one of his chiefs. Listen.
Heed not the weak counsel of cowards in our midst, Nehru. Rather be guided by your own knowing instinct.
You mean, Numati, that the white men should die?
Yes, Nehru, I do. I believe they menace our civilization. We will not be safe until they are done away with.
But Cuba and the others say we have no right to kill.
Consider, Nehru, how 400 years ago our people fled to this secluded spot to escape the murderous weapons of white men such as these. Think what will happen when their accursed road is built through our sacred mountain. Choose, Nehru, between the welfare of our nation and the lives of these whites.
Your plea, Lumati, is a most eloquent one. My decree, then, stands.
You mean...
Yes, death to the whites. Death to all of them. I will summon the guards and order the execution.
Wait, Nehru, ruler of the mighty Inca nation.
Lumati, did you hear a voice speak out?
Yes, I...
Act not in haste, O Nehru. Hear me first.
Who speaks thus? Where are you?
It must be an evil god.
No, Lumati. I am no evil god, but the spirit of peace and goodwill.
If you speak the truth, why then do you not show yourself to us as a sign of faith?
That I cannot do. But you must hear me and trust me.
Speak then. What do you wish?
I have come to save you from committing an evil unworthy of your heritage and your greatness.
What is this of which you speak?
Your decision to kill the white prisoners. You must rescind that decision, Nehru, or evil days will befall you and your people.
I suspect a ruse, Nehru. Heed not this unseen voice.
Listen carefully, Nehru. In return for your release of the white prisoners, I will grant you one wish. Name it, Nehru.
Nehru, listen to me.
Be still, Lumati. Hear me, unseen voice. Can you grant us a river that flows by our hidden city?
That he cannot do. You see, Nehru.
Is that what you most desire, Nehru?
Yes, to have a river that flows swiftly and with strength, so that can turn the wheels of our mills and provide power for other uses. That has been the desire of my people for many years.
That wish shall be granted, Nehru. But in return, the white prisoners must be safely conducted to their silver bird. And you must promise that you will no longer hinder the building of a highway through the mountains.
Nehru, this is madness. Do not pledge your word. Remember what it means, Nehru. A road through our sacred mountain. The end of our ancient civilization.
You are wrong, Lumati. your civilization can continue in peace in this hidden valley, unmolested. What is your decision, Nehru?
My decision is death to the whites. No, Lumati. I will pledge you my word.
No, Nehru, I implore you, no.
I, Nehru, Supreme Chief of the Inca Nation, have spoken.
You have spoken well, O Chief.
Nehru, this is a ruse. I tell you, that voice is coming from the balcony. Wait, I shall show you. It is one of the white men.
Stay where you are, Lumati, if you value your life.
Lumati, we have naught to lose. I will give you all voice until the sun rises on the morrow to accomplish the miracle of creating a river. If within that time you fail, all the whites shall perish.
I accept, Nehru. Now you must do one thing. Disperse the guard in the courtyard so that I may be free to work this miracle unhampered.
You see, Nehru, it is a trick. A trick to leave the palace unguarded so that...
Enough, Lumati. Nehru has given his word. The request to dismiss the guard is a reasonable one. Give the signal for dismissal. Strike the gong. Do as I say. Strike it.
His ruse successful, Kent speeds back to join Editor White, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and John Craig, the American engineer, on the bank of the rushing stream that runs underground through the Valley of Shadows. With only a few hours in which to create a river for the Incas, Kent's responsibility is great. En route to rejoin his friends, he ponders. Shall he, as Superman, alone make quick work of accomplishing the miracle, or is it best to do it another way? Finally, he reaches a decision. Fearful lest in his haste he might create a river that would overflow the Inca city, Kent decides to enlist the engineering skill of John Craig. Returning to the riverbank, he finds Perry White and Lois both too exhausted to move. Leaving them to regain their strength, Kent, Jimmy, and Craig retrace the underground course of the river to the giant waterfall.
Now, there's the waterfall straight ahead of us.
Let's get this straight, Kent. As I understand it, we have until tomorrow morning to divert the course of this underground river so that it flows by the Inca city.
That's right. The deal with Nehru is that in return for creating a river, which his people want so badly, all of us, including the engineers, will be escorted to safety, and the Trans-Hemisphere Highway can go through without further trouble.
That's a wonderful bargain. All we have to do now is perform a miracle.
Say, Mr. Kent, how'd you ever get to talk to Nehru without his calling the guards?
Nehru never saw me.
Gosh, how come?
Well, you know how high-ceilinged that council room is?
Sure, I remember.
There's a balcony at one end of it.
Yes, the balcony was screened by a gorgeous curtain woven of gold and silver thread.
Yeah, I remember that, too.
Correct, both of you. Well, I remained hidden behind that curtain on the balcony. Fooled him completely.
Gee.
Well, here's the waterfall where the underground river begins.
Curious phenomenon, isn't it?
I'll say it is. And very unpleasant to be tossed into, I know.
Now, Mr. Craig, here's our engineering problem. As you can see, the water thunders into that huge hole and then flows underground for 2 miles and comes to the surface where Lois and Mr. White are now.
And our job is to bring it up above ground and divert its flow so that it passes close by the Inca city.
Right.
Golly, I can't see how we can do that.
Nor can I at the moment.
Oh, surely, Mr. Craig, an engineer shouldn't be stumped by this problem.
Well, maybe not, Kent. But I admit that right now I can't figure out anything that would accomplish what we want with the tools at our disposal.
Gosh, then we'll lick.
Oh, wait, not so fast, Jimmy. Give Mr. Craig a chance to study this problem.
Kent, I'm sorry to let you down like this. And I'm afraid your confidence in me isn't justified.
Well, I think it is. I know your reputation as an engineer.
Well, that's all very well, but as I said, we have no tools to work with. Diverting a riverbed is in itself a simple problem, Kent. It's done every day all over the world.
Well, why can't we do it?
If you need someone to help dig or something like that, I'm willing to help.
Well, I'm sure you are, Jimmy, but that isn't all. We just lack everything. Proper tools, and most of all, explosives.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Of course. Explosives are very important. In fact, indispensable.
Hey, wait a minute. Explosives? You mean dynamite?
That's right, Jimmy.
Jimmy, it just dawned on me. I just remembered.
Remembered what?
I know. The dynamite the Inca warriors took out of the plane.
Yeah.
Dynamite out of the plane? What plane?
Mr. White's plane. He brought a few cases of dynamite down here with him.
Sure, he thought maybe he'd have to use it to rescue you engineers if you were trapped in a canyon or something.
Well, that's wonderful. Where is it now?
Yeah, that's what we've got to find out.
I think I know. You remember when those warriors captured us and brought us up here? They took a lot of stuff out of the plane and carried it through the tunnel.
That's right.
Well, the 2 Indians who were carrying the dynamite were walking right in front of Mr. Bronson and me. And I think I remember where they put it.
Where?
They put it in a small room off the tunnel about halfway from the exit.
Kent, there's the answer to our problem and our prayers. If we can get that dynamite, I'll show you how to divert this river.
Now, we're getting someplace. I'll get that dynamite.
You've got to get into the tunnel first.
Now, don't you worry about that. I'll manage it somehow. You and Jimmy go back to Mr. White and Lois. I'll join you as soon as I get the dynamite.
Okay.
Oh, but Mr. Kent, you lose a lot of time looking for it. I know just where it is. Don't you think I'd better go along with you?
Well, all right, Jimmy. That may be a good idea. Come along. See you later, Craig.
Right. I'll be all set when you get back.
Golly, hammering a rock against that stone tunnel door isn't doing any good.
Well, nobody seems to answer. I wonder what happened to Seba, the gatekeeper.
He's probably asleep at the switch.
Well, there's no time for jokes, Jim. Still no answer.
Say, do you think maybe there's a signal, like a certain number of knocks?
Could be, Jim. Wait. Last time I was here, the guard waved a torch 4 times, and then that big rock door rolled open. Let's try 4 knocks.
Can't lose anything.
Right you are. Here goes.
Nothing's happened yet.
Look. It's beginning to open. Look. Hey, see?
Yep. Those 4 knocks must have been the right... Oh, Mr. Kent.
What's the matter, Jim?
Look what's in the tunnel. We're sunk.
What has Jimmy seen in the half-darkness of the mountain tunnel? Is it something that will prevent them from getting the dynamite? Things are rushing to a startling climax, so don't miss a single episode. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
The bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, then steel in his bare hand, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. As you remember, Clark Kent entered into an agreement with Nehru, supreme leader of the Inca Indians, to bring their subterranean river above ground. Knowing full well that he could, as Superman, bring the river above ground without trouble, but unwilling to run the risk of flooding the Inca city in the event the rushing torrent should get out of hand, he discussed the problem with John Craig, one of the American engineers. Craig said that dynamite would be necessary. Remembering that the Indians had removed 2 cases of dynamite from Perry White's plane and hidden it in the mountain tunnel, Jimmy Olsen was certain he could show Kent where it was stored. Together, they approached the tunnel. Rapping on the stone door, they stepped back as it swung open slowly. Suddenly, Jimmy turned pale.
Look, Mr. Kent.
What is it, Jimmy?
Look, warriors. The tunnel's filled with them. Let's get out of here.
It's no use. They've seen us. Besides, we've got to get that dynamite.
Oh, please, Mr. Kent. They tried to get rid of me once before.
Well, that's a point in our favor. They think we're both dead. And look, the leader of those men is Seba, the gatekeeper. Jimmy, watch this. Seba! Seba, the gatekeeper!
Who are you?
Look at me, Seba. Look into my face. Do you not recognize me?
No, it cannot be. You are dead. I saw you leap over the cliff like a man possessed. Boy!
You are right, Seba. But I have returned. The gods of the river have sent me back. They have given me a mission. They don't understand. Tell them, Seba. Tell them I have come from the gods of the river.
Mabuba! Tadunu! Ibitangma! Taju!
They believe it. Look, Jimmy, they're drawing back.
What is it you wish, spirits?
I wish nothing, Seba. But the gods of the river are waiting for 2 boxes which the white men brought with them. It is a sacrifice.
I know not of boxes.
The gods of the river do not lie. They have told me where to find them.
Come, then, and get them.
Don't, Mr. Kent. It's a trick. Don't go.
All right, Jimmy. They're frightened.
Ziba, tell the men to clear the entrance. Tell them to stand close to the walls. He who draws near us will die. So say the gods of the river. Tell them, Ziba.
Kabda Mapa Takumbuna.
All right, Jimmy. They've opened a path. Come on.
Stand aside, Ziba. Tell them not to move.
Which way, Jimmy?
When we come to the corridor. All right, turn here. Dynamite's behind one of the doors on the right-hand side. Keep going.
You're sure you remember?
I think so. There. Try that door.
All right. Hope it's open. It is. Good work, Jimmy. There are the boxes.
I'll carry one.
No, you won't. You take the torch. I can carry both of them. There. One under each arm.
Golly.
All right, Jim, lead the way. Here comes the hard part, getting out. I don't like this. They look suspicious.
Tell the warriors to stand back, Ziba. We must bring these boxes to the gods of the river.
The warriors do not believe that you are spirits. They would have proof that you were sent by the gods of the river.
Have you told them that I am one who has returned from the shadows?
I have, but they say I am an old man with eyes that do not see. Perhaps I am. Prove it then. Prove that you were sent by the gods.
What do we do? I'm kind of scared.
Don't worry, Jimmy. I have an idea.
Ziba, have you ever seen the gods of the river hurl thunderbolts?
No, but I have heard them.
Then watch. Tell the warriors to watch. Here is your proof.
What are you going to do?
Stick a dynamite. I'll open this box. There. You can waste one. Now, come on, Jimmy. I'm going to toss it outside of the tunnel so no one gets hurt.
No. Go no further.
Would you stand in the way of a thunderbolt, fool?
All right, Jimmy. I'll ask you.
Here's your proof, Ziba.
Terror-stricken by the thunderbolt bursting outside the tunnel, the Inca warriors drop to their knees as Kent and Jimmy walk unmolested through the open door. An hour later, Kent, White, Jimmy, and Craig, the engineer, stand near the underground river.
Well, now that we have the dynamite, Mr. Craig, how do we proceed?
May be impossible to make use of it.
Well, that's a nice how do you do.
Why can't the dynamite be used, Craig? It must be set off inside the passage, Mr. White. No man alive could swim underground against that current and set off dynamite charges. We haven't any discharge mechanism, nothing but short fuses. And you can't just toss the dynamite into the water, or else the river will run high, wide, and handsome.
Where would the dynamite have to be placed to send the water in the right direction, Mr. Craig? We don't want to flood the city, you know.
About 100 yards inside the passage. The explosion will tear open the entire surface of the passage. And if the terrific impact of the water is checked for an instant, the whole mass of the falls will plunge into the valley.
And supposing it isn't checked?
It may just swerve off course and flood the city. I don't know what all this discussion's about. There isn't a ghost of a chance of getting the dynamite in there, let alone setting it off.
Oh, well. Let's talk about it in the morning, huh? I'm dead tired.
There's plenty of soft moss back here. It's a swell place to sleep.
All right. It's a good idea. We can all use a little rest. Come on, Craig.
As the deep curtain of night falls on the exhausted little group of people, a tall, familiar figure rises from among them. Silently, he gazes at the sleeping faces, then reaches down and picks up 2 square boxes. He walks a short distance out of sight, and then suddenly he leaps into the air, carrying the dynamite with him, flies downward over the underground river. Yes, armed with the knowledge he wanted, Superman is undertaking a task greater than any Hercules ever dreamed of. Quickly judging 100 yards with his keen eyes, he swoops to earth. Let's watch him.
Now, tear through this earth and bedrock to plant the dynamite. Here goes. Oh, much deeper than I suspected. Granite is pretty tough. Through. All right. Now to plant this dynamite. Have to be careful not to drop it into the river as I climb down. There we are. All right. I I can force it into this crevice here. That's good. Now, here go the fuses. So, it'll be better to watch from above. Up, and away! Ah, there she goes. Look at it. Must have spurted a mile into the air. Oh, wait. The falls have split. A river is starting towards the city. Down!
Thousands of lives at stake if the sweeping torrent rushes down to the Inca city. But watch Superman. He charges toward the falls and smashes into the rock underneath them. He must cut off the second river that formed. Millions of gallons of water are pounding over him as he braces his shoulder against the rock. If he can push it over, the rivers will be joined. The rocks shake. They're giving way. There they go. The rivers are flowing together, running together above the earth. It's one river now, one river, and it's flowing from the Valley of the Shadow.
Well, here is your river, Nehru. Peaceful and rather pretty.
I can hardly believe it. After 400 years. And now it is here. How did you do it?
That's what I want to know, Kemp. I don't mind saying I'd like to know, too. This is the first real engineering miracle I've ever witnessed.
Well, you gave me the plan, Mr. Craig. You deserve the credit. I simply found a hole and lowered the dynamite down. The rest happened just as you predicted.
You have forgotten, perhaps, that you are still wearing the jewel that turns yellow when you do not speak the truth.
Look, it's yellow now.
Here, Nehru, take it back and keep it. It's a troublemaker. You haven't forgotten your promise, I hope.
No, I have not. You will all be led to safety. We, the Inca nation, will never interfere with the highway you wish to build through the Andes.
Well, what are we standing around for? Come on, let's get back to the plane, back to the States. What are you mine engineers going to do, Craig? We're going to stay in the Andes and finish the work we started, with Nehru's help. Well, come on then. Lois is waiting at the plane. Bronson's there, too. What in blazes are you standing around for? Why, they have to pick a plane.
Calling Washington, official 177. Calling Washington, official 177.
Come in, please. Official 177, standing by.
Clark Kent reporting. Mystery solved. All engineers safe. Proceed with plans for the Trans-Hemisphere Highway.
And so, with another important job done, Superman returns to the United States. The highway will be built. Another link in the chain of America's vital defenses will be welded. But the mighty work of defending the democracies of the Western Hemisphere is not done. That work must go on, and Superman will lend his strength, his courage, and his intelligence again and again. The fury of the war increases, and Superman will play his part. There are exciting times and exciting adventures ahead, so tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Rocketing through the inky blackness of space far out in the asteroid belt, the Polaris suddenly picks up a radio call from Dr. Joan Dale, revealing that she and Cadet Roger Manning are on Asteroid 2049. Then, just as suddenly, her voice is drowned out by static. Now on the control deck, Tom Corbett and Captain Strong work frantically to reestablish contact.
Rocket Cruiser Polaris to Dr. Joan Dale. This is Tom Corbett on the Polaris. Can you read me, Dr. Dale? Come in. Come in.
Hello, Polaris. This is Dr. Dale.
We've got her again, Captain Strong.
Good, I'll take over. Hello, Joan. This is Steve. Your rocket scout just exploded out here in space. How in the universe did you and Manning manage to abandon that ship and get to the asteroid?
We didn't abandon the ship, Steve. When Roger and I landed here, Mason and his men took us prisoner.
Joan, I don't understand. Why should Mason take you prisoners?
Well, he's learned that the ore he was sent here to mine is extremely valuable, so he's been strip mining, selling the ore privately to line his own pockets.
I see.
He and his men were loading a privately owned freighter when we arrived. We caught them red-handed.
Where are you transmitting from, Joan? How did you get to a set?
We're locked up in a tool shed where their spare equipment is stored. Roger and I finally succeeded in rigging up this radio. Steve, you're our only hope. You've got to help us.
We're on our way, Joan.
And, Steve, another thing.
Yes?
In case anything goes wrong, I don't...
Hello, Joan? Joan, come in. What happened to the receiver, Tom?
Well, nothing, far as I can see, Captain
Well,
Strong.
check the circuit.
Oh, the circuit's all right, sir. She just isn't sending.
Well, try to raise her again.
Aye, sir. Polaris calling Dr. Joan Dale on Asteroid 2049. Polaris calling Joan Dale on Asteroid 2049. Come in, Dr. Dale. We aren't reading you.
Polaris to Dr. Dale. Come in. Come in.
Hello, Polaris. Can you hear me?
Yes, this is the Polaris. Come in.
Is that you, Captain Strong?
Strong here, yes.
Listen, Strong, this is Greg Mason on Asteroid 2049.
What have you done with Dr. Dale and Cadet Manning?
Stop using your tubes, Strong. They're still healthy. I just had to close the lady's mouth. She talks too much.
What do you hope to gain by this, Mason?
A fortune, Captain, and the freedom to enjoy it. Now get this and get it straight. We're going to monitor your space transmitter from now on. Stay away from here, and don't try to send a report to any ship. Is that clear?
And if we do?
Then it will be curtains for these two friends of yours. You'll never see them again, alive.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, Spaceman, did you ever go to a briefing session? Well, that's what the cadets at Space Academy do before each space flight. All the cadets on that flight meet in the ready room. Then the commander of the flight gives them their instructions about the mission. Well, one day, Captain Strong was telling the cadets about it.
All right, now, settle down, everybody. Now, that's better. Now, you all know your jobs. We'll start blasting off at 0800 hours. Blast off at 3-minute intervals in the order assigned and head for the rendezvous point. And one thing more. Don't stay in the sack and miss breakfast. You'll need your wits about you, and you'll need lots of energy. So get down to that mess hall early and put away a good breakfast. I suggest you belt away lots of Kellogg's Pep, for one thing. Pep gives you plenty of vitamins, plenty of good food values, plenty of energy food to call on. Vitamins B1 and D help keep you on your toes. So make sure you're getting your share. Some of you ought to have second helpings of Pep on that score alone. Besides, Pep tastes so downright good you'll ask for a second bowl anyway. Just make sure you leave some for me. That's all. Cadets, take Pep! Dismissed!
Well, I think Captain Strong had better get to that mess hall early himself. You know, Pep really makes a hit at the breakfast table. You spacemen out there, try Kellogg's Pep yourself. See how absolutely swell a cereal can be. You'll be just like cadets here at Space Academy if you sit down to the Spaceman cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
While transmitting a message to the Polaris for help,
Dr. Joan Dale and Cadet Roger Manning are surprised by Greg Mason, the mining engineer who was holding them prisoner on Asteroid 2049. Mason then warns Captain Strong that if he attempts to land on the asteroid or contact the Solar Guard, Joan and Manning will be killed. Now several hours have passed, and Captain Strong and the space cadets are near Asteroid 2049, hoping to find a way to rescue their friends.
We're within radar range of Asteroid 2049, Captain Strong. What's our next move?
I don't know, Tom. I half expected Mason to warn us off again.
Well, there hasn't been a word from him since he warned us to keep away. And we'll be in visual contact in another minute or so. Shall we alter course?
No, let's hold her steady. I'd like to bait Mason into establishing radio contact again.
Well, sir, we're coming into visual range of the asteroid now.
Get a fix on it with the forward scanner, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Power deck aye. And Astro here.
Astro, fire braking rockets 1 and 2.
Are we going to land, sir?
I don't know yet. Just stand by.
Aye, sir.
Captain Strong.
Oh, what's the trouble, Tom?
Look here in the forward scanner. There's no sign of the space freighter anywhere. The asteroid is deserted. I've been through the whole camp, Captain Strong. It's empty. Even the supplies are gone.
How about you, Astro?
Well, I didn't find anybody, if that's what you mean, sir, but I did notice something else.
What's that?
The ore veins in the mine are all played out, sir. There's nothing down there to mine.
No? Well, it's beginning to make sense now.
How do you mean, sir?
Well, Mason and his men must have been just about ready to close up operations here when Joan and Roger arrived and found out what they were up to.
So now they've cleared out and have the whole universe to hide in.
Which means we'll never find them now.
Not unless Joan and Roger left some kind of clue for us.
Well, but they didn't, Captain. We've searched every square inch of this asteroid.
Say, wait a minute, Astro. Remember when Dr. Dale first gave us that lab lecture on this ore?
Sure. What about it?
Remember she said it was very scarce, only 2 known sources?
Yeah, that's right. Asteroid 2049 and a twin. I forget which one it was now.
Number 2046.
What are you getting at, Tom?
Well, it's just a wild hunch, sir, but suppose Dr. Dale told Mason about the twin.
Why should she?
To keep Mason from killing her and Roger. He'd have no reason to keep prisoners with this mine played out.
Sure, and if she told him there was another deposit of that ore, Mason wouldn't lose any time blasting off to find it.
And he'd save valuable time by taking Joan along to help him.
And he's still safe with Dr. Dale and Roger as hostages.
Yeah, but all this leaves us just where we were before. If we try to land on the asteroid, he'd just carry out his threat to kill them.
Well, let's jump our hurdles one at a time. The first thing we have to do is to find Mason. Get back aboard the Polaris, boys, and prepare to blast off.
Well, Dr. Dale, you can thank your friends for keeping their word. So far, they haven't reported what's happened to you and Manning.
How long do you think you can get away with this, Mason? You're bound to be caught sooner or later.
That's right, Mason. You haven't a chance. If you were smart, you'd give yourself up to the Solar Guard. Maybe they'd be easy on you.
You're space-happy, Manning. I've got everything under control. As soon as my men strip this asteroid of its ore, we're blasting off in this freighter for outer space.
What about us?
You needn't worry, Manning. You and Dr. Dale won't have to make the trip.
You're darn right we won't.
Tommy! Come in here! Quick!
I've just been waiting for a chance like this, Mason.
Roger, look out! Behind you!
Grab him, Tommy! Let go of my arms, you slimy space nut!
That's it, Tommy! Pin him down!
Dirty space crawlers, I'll take on both of you!
Not now, you won't, Manning.
Let go of me!
And since you won't behave, we'll teach you how. Take them below, Tully, and put them in irons.
There it is, Captain Strong. I've got Asteroid 2046 on the radar.
All right, Tom. Hold this course. It will keep us outside their radar scanners.
But what are we going to do now, sir? How are we going to help Dr. Dale and Roger if we can't get any closer to the asteroid than this?
We've got to figure out a way to evade Mason's radar first, Astro.
That's going to be tough, sir. Even if we circle the asteroid and come up on the other side of his mining camp, his sonar equipment will pick up our rocket blast.
Hey, wait a minute. I've got an idea. Suppose we let them pick us up on their radar.
Are you crazy, Astro?
Maybe, but the way I figure it, Tom, if we alert them that way, they'll keep the radar on the Polaris to watch every move we make, right?
We can be sure of that, Astro.
Fine. Then the Polaris will act as a decoy. And While you keep the ship on a course just inside Mason's radar screen, sir, Tom and I could take the jet boat, land on the other side of the asteroid, and take them by surprise.
Sounds pretty risky, Astro. Even if you were able to find Joan and Roger, you could never get off the asteroid with them in a jet boat. Mason could shoot you down before you got back to the Polaris.
I think I've got the answer to that, sir. Give Astro and me a certain time limit to find Dr. Dale and Roger and get them away from the freighter. Then you close in and fire a space torpedo at Mason's ship.
Suppose you didn't find Joan and Roger in the allotted time.
We could signal you after we found it.
An infrared signal flare would do it, sir.
When you see the signal, wait exactly 10 minutes, and then fire the torpedo.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one thing I forgot.
What's that, Astro?
Even though they've got the radar on the Polaris, their sonar will pick up the sound of the jets in the boat.
There's a way out of that, I think, Astro. Judging by the size of Asteroid 2046, the gravitational pull ought to be pretty slight.
We can find out easily enough. Wait a minute. I'll check the master chart.
Shouldn't be much different from the other one. They're about the same size.
You're right, Astro. It's .005. Why, we could land the jet boat without using any braking power at all.
We'd just float down to the surface. Our fall would be as easy as a parachute landing back on Earth.
Well, seems to add up to a workable plan.
It's the only chance we've got, sir.
All right. Jump into your space gear, boys, and grab a couple of parallel rays. You'll shove off in 5 minutes.
Hold on, Astro. We're going to touch down, and we just might hit a little harder than we figured.
We'll know in a second, Tom. Here goes.
Not bad. Hardly jarred us. Okay, put your space helmet on, and let's get moving.
Right.
All set. Open the hatch.
Come on. We've got a small-sized hike ahead of us.
It won't take us long. With this gravity, you can jump 10 or 15 feet at a time.
I imagine they'll be using their space freighter for headquarters. I doubt if they take the time to put up a regular camp.
Okay, then, let's head for her. You can see her nose just over the horizon.
So far, so good, Astro. We haven't been spotted yet.
And there's the ship. The crew is unloading something from the aft hatch.
Mining equipment. Our hunch was right. They're going to take as much of this ore with them as they can.
Where do you think we'll find Dr. Dale and Roger?
On the ship somewhere. Doesn't that type of freighter have a hatch on the other side of the hull?
Most of them do. It's an escape hatch in case of a runaway reactor pile. It should lead right to the power deck.
Good. We'll give it a try. Come on. Careful, Astro. We may run into somebody in this companionway.
I'll be ready for him. Hey, wait. Let's check this compartment.
Okay. Open the bulkhead door, but take it easy.
There you are. Kind of dark.
I'll go in first. You cover me from here until I find out what's in there.
Go ahead.
Why don't you space crawlers leave us alone?
Roger.
Huh? Who's there?
What's the matter? Don't you recognize me?
Tom, by all the moons of Jupiter.
How did you get here?
No time to explain now, Dr. Dale. We've got to blast out of here.
We can't, Junior. They've got us in irons.
Oh? Well, we can carve you out of those. Hey, Astro.
Yeah, Tom? Any luck?
Yeah, I found them. Get outside and fire that flare.
Okay. I'll wait for you at the airlock. And tell Manning if he doesn't behave, we'll leave him behind.
Go on, you Venusian ape. I think I'll stay here.
Boys, this is no time for kidding. Corbett, can you get us out of these irons?
There's an electronic switch controlling them, Tom, but I don't know where it is.
Well, we won't bother with the switch. I'll just short-circuit the connection. And listen, as soon as you're free, find a couple of spacesuits. After Astro fires that flare, we only have 10 minutes to get clear of this ship. Here's the airlock. Put your space helmets on.
Let me help you, Dr. Dale.
Thank you, Manning. I can manage.
Ready?
Yes, Corbett.
Lead the way, Junior. Hey, where's Astro? I thought he was going to meet us here.
Probably outside. Equalize pressure, will you, Roger?
Right.
Tom, why did you send Astro outside to fire a flare?
To let Captain Strong know we found you, ma'am. And have him fire a space torpedo at this ship.
A space torpedo?
Don't fuse your tubes, Roger. It's a timed operation. 10 minutes after he gets the signal, he'll fire. That'll give us time to clear the freighter.
Well, it's been at least 5 minutes since Astro left. We've got to make tracks.
4 minutes and 30 seconds exactly, Roger. Don't worry. I'm keeping track of the time. We ought to make it easy. Okay, pressure's equalized. I'll open the outer portals. Right. Come on, Dr. Dale. You see Astro? Yeah, there he is. Hey, Astro! Astro, is everything okay?
What's the matter with him? Why doesn't he answer us?
Hey, he looks kind of funny to me. He isn't even moving. Quick, jumping Jupiter. He's been frozen by a parallel ray.
You're absolutely right, honey.
Huh? Mason!
Drop that parallel ray, kid, or you'll be frosted.
Why, you...
No, Tom, don't.
Okay. Here you are, Mason.
Well, you're showing some sense, finally. More than that big hulk over there did.
Okay, so you got it. Now let him go.
All right. There.
Astro, you all right? Oh, sure. But it sure felt awful to just stand here and see you walk into a trap. How did it happen, Astro? Mason and his crew just surprised me, that's all. Jumped me right after I fired the flare.
You weren't very smart, boys. You should have figured I'd send out patrols and that I'd find your jet boat.
But, Astro, you did fire the flare. Yeah, exactly 5 minutes ago. Well, looks like you've got a tiger by the tail, Mason.
What are you talking about?
In 5 minutes, this ship is going to be blown into space junk. You'd better let us go.
Ha! Still playing games, eh? Get back inside right now. If this ship is blasted, you'll be blasted with it.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. Spaceman, everybody's having fun with the Magic Eye, the swell prize you get in every package of Kellogg's Pep. Everywhere you go, you see spacemen trading Magic Eyes, playing games with them, using them for decorations on hats, belts, and jackets. It's really fun. So, if you haven't started your Magic Eye collection yet, there's not a minute to lose. You know, Magic Eyes are those swell plastic discs with the moving pictures on them. When you tilt them up and down, the picture actually changes back and forth. Trains go smoking down the track. Planes go streaking through the clouds. And your favorite stars of movies, sports, and radio entertain you. Paramount star Bob Hope swings a baseball bat. Clyde Beatty cracks a whip. Paramount star Bill Holden works the submarine periscope. Every Magic Eye is packed with action, and you can get as many as 16 different Magic Eye pictures. There's no waiting, no box tops, no mailing. Just get a package of Kellogg's Pep at your grocery store and open it up. You'll find a Magic Eye right inside, free at no extra cost. And remember, at the same time you get a Magic Eye, you'll be getting a swell-tasting cereal, too, which makes it a double bargain. So don't delay. For a Magic Eye and a swell cereal, ask Mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Their daring attempt to rescue Dr. Joan Dale and Roger Manning a failure, Tom and Astro find themselves in deadly danger as Mason orders them back into the space freighter, refusing to believe that Captain Strong has fired a space torpedo at the ship. Now, as he stands in the open airlock, Tom pleads with Mason.
You've got to believe me, Mason. In less than 3 minutes, this ship will be blasted off the asteroid.
You're wasting your breath, kid. I don't fall for schoolboy tricks. Now go on. Get into that airlock, all of you.
Only 2.5 minutes now.
Shut up, you.
Do you know what will happen when that space torpedo hits, Mason? It not only will blast the freighter apart, it'll kill everyone in a 100 yards radius.
Which means you and your crew will get it too, Mason.
One more word out of you.
Why do you suppose Astro fired that flare? That's when you caught him, Mason.
I didn't see any flare.
It was an infrared flare. You couldn't see it without special goggles.
1 minute and 45 seconds, Mason. Remember, you'll get it too.
Look at your crew. They believe it. Look at them. They're backing off.
Hey, come back here. Come back, you lily-livered space fighter.
They're smarter than you are, Mason. They want to live.
1 minute and 30 seconds. It'll take us time to get away from the ship.
Ah, you're not going to trick me.
You've only got one way of finding out if this is a trick. Stay here. You'll either win or be spaced out.
1 minute and 15 seconds.
And that torpedo has your name on it, too, Mason. You'll never get away now. There isn't time.
You're all alone with us now, pal. Look at the way your crew is running.
Yeah, now they'll make all the money out of this asteroid, not you.
You rotten space crawlers, come back here. Come back!
Roger, Tom, now!
You
We're just taking this gun away now. Get it, Tom. Yep, I have it. No, don't shoot. Don't leave me here.
We won't. Start running. This is your only chance. Less than 20 seconds before the torpedo hits.
Come on, boys, run! Run!
Head east, Mason. That's where the jet boat is.
Who cares? Let's just get where the torpedo is and blast your tubes, all of you. It'll hit any second.
Rocket Cruiser Polaris calling Space Academy Earth. We have found Dr. Dale and Cadet Manning. All hands are safe, and we are returning to base at once. Over and out.
Corbett, that message sounded like sweet music to me.
Joan, why don't you go below and try to get some rest?
Oh, I'm fine here, Steve. Just fine.
But I still don't see how you managed to get back to the jet boat.
It was easy, Skipper. First of all, with the low gravity, we covered 20 feet in one jump. And then when that torpedo hit the freighter, Mason and his men were so busy trying to get away, they didn't pay any attention to us.
What are you going to do about Mason and the crew, sir? They're stranded on the asteroid now.
Well, not for long. As soon as I saw your jet boat blast off, I contacted Solar Guard headquarters on Mars. They're sending a ship out to pick them up.
Yeah, and then Mason can spend plenty of time looking for ore, cracking rocks on the prison asteroid.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris blasts off on a vacation, only to encounter mystery and danger as they battle the giants of Mercury. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Al Markham, Edward Bryce, and Margaret Garland. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program has come to you from New York. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
The everyday grind. Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Alone on the deck of a sinking convict ship, becalmed in a yellow fog, while somewhere in the dark below you, free from the cells that held them, is a deadly band of murderers seeking out your life.
Listen now as Escape brings you Weston Martyr's exciting story of Sleeping Draught.
That helps. But it's like I say. You can't forget. You can never forget. It is at night that you think about it. With the water outside rushing past the hull. That's when you think. And it can never be the same. You can't trust anybody. Never. Not a soul. I can tell you just can't trust them. Not even yourself. What is it, mister?
Mr. Finch says he's ready to board, sir.
Oh, he is, eh? All right, well, I'm not stopping him.
Sir.
Hmm?
He insists on bringing them aboard one at a time.
What? Does he think I'm going to miss the tide? There's over 400 of them. It'll take out.
That's what I said, sir, but he...
Mr. Finch, come aboard if you please.
I'm sorry, sir.
I should have resigned, thinking, filthy poor devil cargo. Everything I cockalorum, Captain? No, everything is not I cockalorum. What in blazes do you mean ordering my mate about?
No offense intended, none taken, I hope.
I want those scurvy wretches aboard now. All of them. You put them below and we'll weigh anchor.
One at a time, sir. One at a time. We've got to search them.
Why didn't you do that before you took them out of jail?
You'd be surprised what those swine can pick up. Between jail and the docks, Captain. We've got to search them one at a time, and that's a fact. They're murdering devils, every last one of them.
Convicts came aboard one by one. I watched them. They were going from London to a land they'd never seen. A colony had bought them. Australia. 400. The sweepings and scrapings sorted out from the muck of the jails, with Finch in charge of them. Oh, I've carried dirty cargo. Dyewood, for instance, crawling with scorpions and spiders, not to mention snakes. Then there's cattle. But this... weeks and months at sea with a human cargo who'd as soon cut your throat as spit. And what made it worse was I felt sorry for the poor beggars. I watched them come aboard until there were two left.
Name? Wilkes. Search him.
Hey, take your bleeding hands off of me. I ain't got nothing. Ain't you stole me last night?
Shut your door!
That's enough, Finch. I won't have the cat used on my ship. They'll get enough of it where they're going.
You're a trusting soul, you are, Captain. How would you like that between your ribs? The touch of the cat's a lot better than letting this swine bring a knife aboard. Take him below! I don't know how they do it. Well, me, I don't. You got to watch them for knives. Next! Right. Ooh, here's the terror. Look at the size of him. Dangerous swine. 3 murders in Australia. Escaped. He's in Brit when he gets back. Name?
Abbey. Jonathan Abbey.
Abbey. Well. A gentleman in chains. I am sorry, your worship. Forgive us for daring to lay hands on your highness. I'm sure as though you've been wrongly accused.
That's enough, Finch.
Search him, then take him below. I want Mr. Jonathan Abbey shackled. He's a prize. We mustn't let anything happen to him.
From the day we left London docks, I'd taken a violent dislike to Finch. He seemed to be happiest when he was laying about him with his cat on the convicts herded like sheep below decks. He kept them quiet enough. But one night I decided to have it out with him in my cabin. I made it strong, I can tell you, so that even he could understand what I meant.
You all finished, Captain? All right, you hear me out. They're a bad lot. 400 of them all bound for Australia, and they don't want to go. You follow me? There's that bloke Abbey. As soon as we touch Sydney, the game's up for him. They'll hang him, sure.
That does not mean that you have the right to make life even worse for them here.
Oh, no. If I don't, where do you think we'll be? What would you do if you were down there? I'll tell you. Get hold of this ship. That's what you're doing. It'll be easy.
They're locked in and we've got a guard.
You don't know them like I do. Here's another thing. When I searched them, there was 1 to 5 sovereigns stowed away on every man. Earned or stolen. That'll come to over £1,000 by my figures.
They're entitled to that money. It's little enough to take to a wild country.
But there's them down there what would slip the gullet of any man for a shilling. You asked me to dainty with them.
That's the way he talked to me. And I can tell you I didn't feel easy anymore. I did something I hadn't done for a long time. Brought 2 pistols out from ship's stores and kept them under my pillow. It was when we got around the Horn that the first convict died from scurvy. We had to put him over the side, of course, and there was a lot of grousing. I went down to the hold with Finch. It was hot and stinking.
Now, you let me talk to him, Captain. I'll put it to rights.
You tell him it couldn't be helped.
Don't you mind. I'll tell him.
Oi! Here comes old Bloody Fight. Hi, Finch. Did you steal the clothes off the poor beggar's back before you threw him in?
Men! Men!
We ain't men, dearie. We're dogs, or haven't you heard? Why didn't you wait to bury poor old Smithy in the ground instead of chucking him in the sea?
All right! We've got another 2 or 3 weeks before we reach land. I'll make a bargain with you. The next one that dies, now it's getting nice and hot, I'll leave him down here. And you can take care of him and mourn him until we get to Australia. How's that? Half a crown, you don't keep him for 3 days.
That's old Bloody Fight. Always a nose for business.
If you ain't satisfied with that, I'll see that axe is closed down tight for the rest of the voyage. And you can boil for all of me.
That seemed to settle it for a time. I began to see that in spite of Finch's hardness with them, the prisoners knew he was master and behaved themselves. That is, most of them did. But there were others. And that's what began the trouble. We were 2 days out of the Cook Islands when it happened. Yes?
Captain, there's a man on deck. We brought him up from below. It's horrible.
What happened?
One of the convicts, sir.
Oh? Fight, eh?
Yes, sir.
Here we are, Captain. Mr. Darling ain't much of a surgeon, I must say.
Well, I did what I could. He must have been dead before we got him up here.
He's been cut to pieces.
Not half he ain't.
How did it happen?
Well, I heard him shouting. When I went down the hold, there he was, propped up like against the bars, with his arms through, holding him up.
Poor devil.
Who, him? Nah, he's dead. There's others in for it, though.
What do you mean?
How do you think he got cut up like that? Knives, Captain. Knives!
But you searched them before they boarded.
I did, and truth, I don't know how they done it. Small knives, Captain. Small knives. And we're getting close to Australia, that's what it is. Whoever's got them knives is after money. The £1,000 or more what's on this cursed ship.
I don't see...
You're a trusting soul, you are, Captain. Well, maybe there's a dozen of them, maybe 20 with knives. Follow me? They'll run the others and rob them blind. Old sovereign, Captain, you didn't forget, did you? If anybody objects, cut him up in small pieces like this one.
We've got to go down there and put a stop to it.
Yes, I don't think. How many guns you got aboard?
Well, 2 pistols and 4 muskets.
That's a fat lot of good. Oh, well, must take the sweet with us, Sarah. We can try. There's no harm in that. Mark my words, Captain. Before we get to Sydney, all of us will probably have our throats cut. Come on.
Finch and I, with 2 seamen, armed ourselves and went down into the hold and stood outside the bars. Men inside were quiet. Very quiet. They just looked at us, dark-like.
You men!
I'll talk to them. Now, you listen to me. We know some of you are carrying knives. And I want you to throw them out here. Nothing further will be said about it if you do as I say. Well?
Oh, Captain. My porridge wasn't hot enough this morning. And please, can I have sugar in it tomorrow?
That ain't the way to talk to this scum. The captain's a gentleman. I'm not. You know me, don't you?
We know you all right.
You, Abby. You listen to me. I'm giving you until morning to throw them knives out of here. Till morning. If every blasted one ain't out of your dirty hands, I'm going to have you flogged, every bloody one of you. 50 lashes. Do you hear that, Mr. Abbey?
I'll think about it.
Till morning. Then 50 lashes. You think about that, Mr. Abbey.
Good morning, Captain dear, and Mr. Finch.
You filthy scum, where's them knives?
Well, they'll do the most good.
All right. I've given you a chance. I've played fair.
Mr. Finch, sir, may I have a word with you?
Oh, come back to your senses, have you?
Now, bend close to the bars, because what I got to say, I got to whisper.
What is it? What is it?
Well, now, it goes like this here.
Well, that's 100 lashes, Wolf. I'll take you first and handle the cat myself.
Oh, no, sir. Why not take him first? He won't feel it like I will.
The crowd of men parted suddenly, and from out of them was pushed what had once been a man. It fell against the bars, and then, no longer with the support of living arms, it slid to the deck. We looked at him, Finch and me. His life had been worth a sovereign, maybe two. He hadn't either now, and the knives were still in the hole, with them that had killed him.
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first, many a baseball manager has felt the need of divine guidance to win the pennant. At least once, the story goes, it actually happened. Hear George Murphy, Janet Leigh, and child star Donna Corcoran in Angels in the Outfield on most of these same CBS radio stations. Enjoy this fabulous comedy at the Star's address tomorrow night on the Lux Radio Theater. And now, back to Escape.
As I sees it, we've got to have a council of war in a manner of speaking.
I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Finch. There'll be no flogging.
I can see you're sharper, you are. No, that's right. Too dangerous. We ain't armed for it. We're in a nasty mood. We've got to be crafty, same as them.
I wish we could spill the old lot of them overboard.
And lose your contract for carrying them? Not bloody likely. Here, listen here. I'll get them knives.
How?
It's Abbey behind this. He tells them what's what. Get him out and the others will come around. Mark my words.
Are you going into the old?
Not yet. We'll go in there. Days after we cut off their water and food, seal the hatch, you see what happens.
They die.
They'll die from knives then. Which do you want? They'll be begging you to take their only knives in 3 days.
And if they don't?
We'll tell them to hand over Abbey to us, that he's the one to blame for their misfortunes. They'll do it.
All right. Is that the only way? I'll give the order.
But not just yet, Captain. We'll let them sit down there and wonder. They wonder what we're going to do about them. Some of them may get nervous. We'll let them wonder a bit.
I didn't see Finch the rest of the day. The barometer had fallen suddenly, and with it came a storm. I can tell you I had my hands full for the next 24 hours. There was no time to worry about what was going on in the hold of the ship, but I didn't think they'd have much stomach for knifing each other and killing. Next morning at breakfast, he didn't turn up at all. We searched the old ship, and then I went down into the hold. And that's where he was. And he hadn't died quickly. Someone had held him against the bars, and the others had... He hadn't died quickly.
Present for you, Captain.
Who did this? Who did it?
I wouldn't waste sleep warning him, Captain. He was a bully and no better than us, except that he was outside.
Abbey? Well, I thought you were shackled.
Yes, I was, but Mr. Finch kindly supplied the key to unfasten me.
You're going to pay for this. All of you. Where are those knives?
In here, Captain. Want to come in and get him?
You'll pay for this. You're repeating yourself, Captain. Good morning.
Blasted convict had dismissed me like I was a clerk in an office. There wasn't anything I could do about it. With Finch out of the way, they knew I was an easy mark. It was the nights that got on my nerves. I could hear things happening, lots of things. And it was awful. Those devils with the knives. Each morning we'd have to pull out 6 or a dozen, all cut about and bleeding. Most of them died. But those with the knives were getting money they stole from the victims. I began to be afraid of me crewmen, that one would take a bribe and let that murdering crowd out. I walked around with 2 pistols in my jacket all the time. And then, late one afternoon, something very bad happened. I was standing by the wheel.
Captain!
Here, bosun.
He got out, sir.
Got out? Who?
The big one, Abby. 2 of us were standing guard. We heard a scream. It was Abby. Said he'd been stabbed. Benson opened the grill to get in, and Abby bashed him on the head and bolted.
What about the others?
I got the girl towed in time. They're safe enough. He must be somewhere on the ship, sir, unless he went overboard.
Not that one. He's up to mischief. Here, take one of my pistols, mister.
Aye, sir.
And pass out the muskets. I want every inch of the ship searched. If he puts up a fight, shoot him. Do you hear me? Shoot him. The night comes quickly in southern parts. Did you ever try to search a ship at night with lanterns? Not easy. There are too many shadows, too many sounds which could be rats, or a murderer who's bigger than what you are and could choke your life out in half a minute. We couldn't find him, but he was somewhere aboard, waiting his time. Because we were short-handed, what with the crew searching and all, I stood a watch. And I thought about that man whom Finch said had committed 3 murders in Australia.
Don't turn around, Captain. It's only a little knife, but don't move.
What do you want?
A talk?
I've nothing to say to the likes of you, Abby.
That may be, but I've an offer to make you. You know what I'm in for when we reach Sydney?
Finch told me. I've no pity for you, Abby.
I'm not asking for pity. I have an offer to make. The men below are planning to take the ship. I don't think they've got a chance, but they'll be killing. Those that have got the knives have got all the money, too. It's £1,200.
I'm aware of that, mister.
I can get the knives for you.
Huh?
All I want is a chance to get away before the ship docks.
How do I know it's not a trick?
Turn around, Captain. Yeah. My knife. Will that convince you? You must have a pistol. You can shoot me if you want.
What makes you think you can get the knives away from them, Abby?
I can. That's all you need to know.
I couldn't help you openly, you know that. You're put aboard as a murderer, you're in my charge, and it's my job to turn you over to the police as soon as we arrive.
Then...
If you could get the knives, though, I might be able to give you a chance to clear out.
That's all I want. The chance.
All right.
I must have a pistol.
What? A pistol? You take me for a fool?
No, it's the only way to get the knives.
I give you this pistol, you shoot me down. Not likely.
If I'd wanted to do that, Captain, I'd have cut your throat 2 minutes ago.
You're a murderer.
I know.
You can't have it.
And it's either them or your ship and probably your life. Well?
You talk like a gentleman, Mr. Addy, but suppose you want my pistol so you can free him.
You just have to trust me, as I trust you to give me a chance to get away.
Oh. Here, take it.
What about the guards below? They'll shoot.
I'll take you down. I'll say I caught you.
How do I get out again when I've got the knives?
You send word that you want to see me.
All right. Captain, I'm trusting you now. I want that chance to get away.
We'll talk about it if you get the knives. Come on, I'll take you below now, and you come back tomorrow.
Keep your voice low, Captain. They think I'm tricking you into making a bargain. They think I stole the pistol. I told them I had to have the knives to make you believe that we wouldn't make trouble. I said we'd take over the ship tonight. What do you want me to do? Leave me the key to the grill. I'll slip out tonight and bring you the knives. Well, they'll want you to let them out, too. I won't. I'll lock it. How do I know you will? You don't. You will have to trust me, Captain. Did they know about this plan, all except for the fact that I'm going to lock them in once I'm out? Give me the knives now. No. They'd know something was wrong. I'd never get out alive. Give me the key. All right, Abby. Here. Tonight. I waited. And I can tell you I didn't like it. The wind came up a bit and I knew that before sunrise we'd be in Sydney. That is, if I could trust a murderer. At 10 o'clock that night, there was a rap on my cabin door. One of your crew nearly caught me coming down here. And I've kept my side of the bargain. The knives are all there. No, you needn't worry. Here's your pistol. You may need it. Thanks. Now, how do I get away? We'll be in port in about 6 hours, if the wind holds. You stay aft in the longboat. When you hear the anchor go, drop over the side and swim for it. I'll try to anchor as close to land as possible before I take her in. If I can land without being seen, I've got some friends who'll hide me. I don't want to know about it. You just remember, when the anchor lets go, that's your signal. Thank you, Captain. I trust you, and I'd like to shake hands with you. I took the hand of the murderer, and we shook hands like old friends. And then he was gone. 2 hours later, the wind went down, and in its place came fog. Thick, mucky fog. I had my hands full, what with danger from other ships and the blasted current that knocked you about off the harbor entrance. By 3 o'clock, the fog had shut in properly, and the blissed tide ran us all over the place. But proper dangerous, I can tell you. We were about 15 miles offshore, and I didn't like the look of things. There's shoals thereabout, and so I sent the mate forward to heave the lead. I got a proper start when I heard him sing out, "By the deep fall." We got off course right enough, and at this rate, we'd shear the bottom clean off her. I saw it was high time to bring the ship up and wait until we could see something. Let go the anchor! Let go the anchor! Give her 35 fathoms to the water's edge, but... None too soon, sir. She was shoaling fast. Blasted current must have been making 5 knots out to sea. Listen to her.
She's holding, sir.
The anchor. I forgot. The anchor. Abby! 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 I went to the longboat. It was empty. He'd heard the signal as the anchor paid out. He couldn't see in the fog, and had gone overboard into a 5-knot tide running straight out to sea, 15 miles from shore. He trusted me, and that's why I tell you, you shouldn't trust anybody. Sometimes it's hard sleeping at night. When you hear the water outside and you think, that's when it's hard to sleep.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you A Sleeping Draught by Weston Martyr, adapted by S.A. Bolt, and starring Ben Wright. Featured in the cast were John Dodsworth, Richard Peel, Charlie Lung, Alec Harford, and Eric Snowden. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are traveling east on a cross-country bus, while among your fellow passengers seemingly innocent and friendly, are a man and a woman who plan to destroy you. You and 150 million of your countrymen.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Anthony Ellis's exciting story, The Biggest Secret in the World. An auto race around the world. Impossible, you say? Well, it really happened in 1908. And tomorrow night, hear Van Johnson star in Around the World, the exciting suspense story of this unbelievable auto race. Van Johnson will be heard with the rest of Suspense's cast direct from the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, where an annual automobile show is taking place. Suspense's production tomorrow night will be a part of the auto show. Don't miss it over most of these same CBS radio stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. America now rides to the tune of 25 million auto radios and listens most to the CBS Radio Network.
Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have entered a manufacturing plant on Jupiter to capture a fugitive. Right now, in a large, empty storeroom, they find their search blocked by a locked door.
He must be in the next room, sir. I heard a noise. Let's get a look on this door. It looks pretty rugged. Hey, what happened to the lights? The darkness will help us if we just down. Listen. Captain Keith never thought of it. Two of them here. They've got ray guns.
I've heard those sounds. We've got to get them before they get us.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Tattooed Atom. Hi, fellows and girls. This is Captain Twofeldt. I've got terrific news for you today. The makers of Nestle's Quick want you to have a Man from Mars totem head. Exactly like the kind Commander Corey found. It's a super spooky totem head, more than 12 inches high. It fits over your head and disguises you so well, even your own mom won't know you. It's brilliantly colored with a beak nose, fang teeth, a face in front, and an extra face in back, and it has magic forehead vision. Now, this is a special secret device that works only for you. Yes, you can see out, but nobody can see in. Honest, nobody can see in. Nobody can tell who's inside the Man from Mars totem head. So you can have loads of fun fooling everybody. And, gang, it's easy to get your totem head, because I'm sure that you must have a can of Nestle's Quick in your galley. You know, there's no chocolate milk in the universe that's as good as Quick with its Nestle chocolate bar flavor. Well, now here's what you do. Send the lid from that can of Nestle's Quick, or a tracing of the front of a label, together with your name and address, and 25 cents to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And don't forget your 25 cents. And if you miss the address, get a pencil because we'll repeat it later. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, the Tattooed Atom. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are at the most closely guarded scientific center in the solar system, the Arkhaven Research Laboratory on the planet Mercury. Investigating a leak of secret information, Buzz is asking the cooperation of Gene Satterley, a young scientist in the electrochemical section.
Gene, you're aware that classified information is somehow being smuggled through the security network here at Arkhaven. I have heard rumors, Commander. In spite of every precaution and use of scientific detection instruments, information is being smuggled out of Arkhaven. I'm hoping you can help us find out how. But, Commander, I'm a scientist, an electrochemical engineer, not a crime investigator. I know. But you and other scientists and other divisions might help us locate a blind spot in our security system. Will you cooperate? Of course I'll help, Commander. In fact, I have something of interest to show you. Something that has puzzled me. What is it? In the next room, please. Come on, now. You'll find some papers on the desk at the rear of the room and a chart of the distribution plan for this section. Oh, 1 minute. You go in. I want to get some notes out of my files. All right, Gene. Pat, let's look at that distribution chart. It can give us an idea of... Commander, he locked us in. Evidently, we've located that security leak. He acted kind of nervous. Should we try breaking down the door? No, there's a phone there on the desk. Maybe we can have the guards grab him before he even gets out of the inner ring. Now, wait, Hap. Let him get away. And we can have him followed. Don't touch the phone until you've had a chance to get past the first guard.
A few hours later, Gene Satterley walks down a side street at Mercury City.
Mr. Satterley. I'm afraid you've made a mistake. No, Satterley, you did when you left Arkhaven. Just keep watch. The surface right just around the corner. You've got an appointment.
Gene Satterley's escort holds the muzzle of a ray gun against the scientist's ribs during the long drive to the residential section of Mercury City. When the surface car finally stops before a large residence, the scientist is nearly overcome by fear. His companion takes Satterley into the house, down a hall, and then through a door into a large room that's utterly silent and completely dark. Suddenly, a shaft of light, nearly blinding in brilliance, strikes Satterley almost with the force of a blow. The man with the gun steps back into the dark silence, leaving Satterley squirming in the pool of light.
Why have I been brought here? Is anyone in this room? Speak to me.
There is nothing to fear, Satterley.
Who are you?
I am Corbett.
Corbett?
You have been paid well for getting secret information to my agent. But by running away, you ended your usefulness to me.
Well, I had to. Commander Corey was on me.
You have followed my orders. There is nothing to incriminate you. But perhaps you haven't obeyed my orders.
Yes, I have.
I have many spies at Arkhaven. I was informed within 5 minutes after you left the lab. As you know, no one had noticed because we located you. Now, tell me the truth.
I am telling the truth.
Then where is message 58K?
I sent it out of the plant in the usual way in marked atoms of mercury.
It was never received.
Well, it must have gone astray. Maybe the Space Patrol...
Don't be stupid. The Space Patrol could give the Mercury every test in the book and still not discover our secret. Isn't that true?
Yes, but...
Then find that Mercury. Your life depends on it. Understand?
Just who are you?
For all you know, I am just a boy. I will be standing behind you, Mr. George. Or I will be on Pluto. No one in the universe has seen me as Holy Lord, yet hundreds of billions. Over in the men who brought you here have never seen me.
There's a spacephone here and amplifiers. You are in this room. I hear footsteps. Or is that Mogul?
I'm way back here.
No, it's impossible.
Did someone strike you, Saturday? Or did you just imagine? You don't know, do you? Now will you recover Message 518?
I'll do my best.
Mogul, take him away.
Elsewhere, millions of DUs from Mercury, the Terra 5 streaks toward Jupiter. As the giant planet looms larger in the nose port, Cadet Happy looks up from a sheet of spaceophone reports from the Space Patrol Security Lab on Terra.
I don't get it, Commander. Gene Satterley has a perfect record, not only at Arkhaven, but as far back as the one ago. And there was nothing at the lab to connect him with anything crooked. Why did he run away?
Well, he's guilty of something. That's very evident. But he's not a confirmed criminal. His method of escape shows that.
How, Commander?
Well, a true criminal type with Satterley's intelligence would have planned several alternative methods of escape in advance.
Oh, like the phone in the room he lost it in. Yeah, he'd have put that out of commission.
Exactly. He had almost 30 minutes' notice that we were at Arkhaven and wanted to talk to him. Could have stopped him easily if we wanted to.
Too bad we didn't. Look how he vanished in Mercury City with one of our agents just a few yards behind him. That wasn't so amateurish.
Satterley must have had professional help that time. Now, our best chance to get a lead on him is to check his family and friends in Jupiter, particularly Satterley's father.
Satterley wouldn't be fool enough to contact his father now, would he?
Worth a try.
On the outskirts of the main manufacturing section of Jupiter City is a small shop with a sign reading Joseph Satterley, Precision Machinist. Buzz and Happy have been trying to explain the purpose of their visit over the whir of a lathe.
Yeah, there now. I can hear when that thing going on, but seems like nobody else can. Well, like I told you, Commander, my boy's on Mercury with the Arkhaven Laboratory. Yes, Mr. Satterley, I know. Does he have any close friends here in Jupiter City? Well, there's a girl, Karen Lorimer. Karen, my boy at Gates. Commander, there's something wrong. Gene isn't in trouble with you. Mr. Satterley, I know your son's excellent record. Yesterday, I went to Arkhaven to ask him to cooperate with the Space Patrol on a security problem. You saw him yesterday? Well, Cadet Happy and I were talking to him. He suddenly pulled a very clumsy trick on us and fled from Arkhaven. My son ran away? I can't believe it. I'm sorry, but it's true. Well, Mr. Satterley, can you think of anything to account for Gene's behavior? No, but I'm sure he's done nothing wrong. Maybe he's overworked or breakdown nerves. Have you heard from him recently? No. 2 days ago, a package arrived. Small, but quite heavy. I opened it. Found this. A metal bottle. It is a container of mercury.
Yeah, it's stamped Arkhaven Labs, Section E3.
Steam Center section. Container has an official seal on it, still unbroken. This is government property. Did you ever send you anything like this before? Oh, no, never. If this contains only mercury, it's worth 5 or 6 credits at the most. Surely taking a few pounds of mercury isn't a serious crime? No. But diverting a sealed container out of regular channels is serious. If this is only mercury, then I'd agree with you that Gene is suffering from nerves. It's too stupid and pointless to be a crime. Well, it must be the strain of overwork. When this container is opened and analyzed, we'll know whether you're right, Mr. Satterley. Oh, now, if you don't mind, I'd like the address of this girl, this Karen Lorimer.
From Satterley's shop to Karen Lorimer's apartment is but a few moments' drive in a surface car. Leaving the sealed container of mercury in the dash compartment of the car, Buzz and Happy ascend the steps.
You know, Commander, Gene's father may be right. A nervous breakdown would explain Gene's peculiar behavior.
Perhaps. But in any case, we've got to find Gene before he gets into more trouble. Something I can do for you? I'm Commander Corey of the Space Patrol. I was told that Miss Karen Lorimer lives here. That's right. She and your mother are out right now, though. When do you expect her back? In about 10 minutes. Would you like to come in and wait? Yes, thanks. Come on, Happy.
suppose I'd better introduce myself. Karen's mother is my aunt. She practically raised me. Oh, that's all? Yes. The reason things are in kind of a mess here, the women are cleaning house. They offered to help move the furniture around. You know, to help their nephews.
I see that. I don't believe I got your name.
Oh, Ed. Ed Long.
Commander, excuse me, but I think I'll step outside and get some air. I feel sort of...
Happy, what's the matter?
You believe the cadet is fainted.
Here, Hap,
You guys would never fold up. I'll take these weapons, gentlemen. You'll be tired, aren't you? So weak you can hardly move. That's the end. Causes fatigue by radiation. You've been getting it since you came in. That fatigue ray will hold you while I look for something. If I don't find it, well, I've got a gimmick that'll make you talk.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Have you seen a man from Mars? A man from Mars has a weird totem head, a beak nose, fang teeth, a face in front, another face in back, and magic forehead vision, so he can see out, but nobody can see in.
And, gang, you can all be men from Mars. Yes, sir, Nestle's Quick wants all of you to have the sensational, super scary Man from Mars totem head. It's a complete disguise that completely covers your head, makes you look like a spook from another planet. And wait till you see how magic forehead vision works. It's a special device that lets you see out, but nobody can see in. Why, nobody can even tell it's you inside your Man from Mars totem head. Boy, what fun you'll have fooling and scaring all your pals. And it's easy to get your totem head. All you have to do is get out your big brown and yellow can of Nestle's Quick, the product that makes the best chocolate milk in the universe. No Martian ever had such a delicious drink, or such a simple one, because with Quick there's no beating, no shaking. You just drop 2 spoonfuls of Quick into your glass of milk and swish it with your spoon. Why, Quick makes itself. Now, here's what to do. Send the lid from the can of Nestle's Quick, or a tracing of the front of the label, together with your name and address, and 25 cents to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And hurry so you can be...
The Man from Mars.
And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Tattooed Atom. Thinking the missing scientist, Gene Satterley, might try to contact his family or friends in Jupiter City, Buzz and Happy went to the home of Satterley's fiancée, Karen Lorimer. They were admitted by a man who claimed to be related to Karen. Suddenly, Buzz and Happy were overcome by extreme weakness by means of a concealed fatigue ray machine. Taking their weapons, the imposter threatened them with violence if he failed to find an unnamed object for which he was searching. Right now, a few moments later, Buzz and Happy shakily get to their feet.
That fatigue ray must have turned my muscles into putty. I haven't got the strength of a wet noodle.
I hope the effect wears off before that fake nephew comes back.
Maybe he already found what he was after when he searched the apartment.
He said he'd be back if he took the ray machine with him.
Maybe he was bluffing.
A surface car. Maybe he went out to search that. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir. He's not at the car now.
He must have found what he was after. He'd come back in the apartment to make us talk.
Yeah, but what have we got in the car that he'd want?
Happy, what's the one link between us and Karen Lorimer? Why did we come here?
Why, on account of Gene Satterley. But
Open the car door.
Smoking rockets. The dash compartment. It's been cut open.
With our own atomo torch.
Commander, the container of mercury is gone.
Yes, and with it, old Mr. Satterley's hope that his son is merely overworked. Let's get to Jupiter City headquarters. I'll send out a general alert on our pal with the fatigue ray.
In another part of Jupiter City, there is sudden activity in the abandoned Goda Plastics plant. Working swiftly, a lone operator adjusts an array of instruments. Then, from a case, he removes a metal container and places it in the target area of a ray tube. As silence is broken by a strange voice that seems to come from every part of the room.
Mogrim, what's taking you so long?
I'm almost ready, Polidor. Mercury cylinder's in place.
All right. Put on the probe ray. Check the image monitor.
Definition is excellent, Polidor. Well, that does it. Now, do I send the microfilm through the usual channels for decoding?
No. Use System D this time. We're in danger of interception, thanks to the stupid behavior of Mr. Saturday.
Yeah. Here's a guy who's smart enough to invent a method of marking individual atoms. He devises an electronic code system that nobody but us can detect. And he sidetracks a can full of secret information at Jupiter. I don't get it.
That doesn't matter now. We've got the information. Now, since we have no more use for Mercury, we can return it to space again.
Return it? What for?
It will help confuse Corey and keep him off our trail.
Okay, I'll take care of that. Then I'd better get off Jupiter. Corey probably has every agent in the city looking for me by now.
First, we must dispose of Gene Satterley. He's no longer of use to us and could prove dangerous. He arrived in Jupiter City this morning. 2 of my men will pick him up and bring him here. You will get all the information from him that you can, and then get rid of him.
In the Jupiter City headquarters of the Space Patrol, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy examine a laboratory report. From time to time, they look up at an object on a desk. A metal container full of mercury.
I don't get it, sir. This guy goes to all the trouble to steal this can of mercury out of our surface car, and then we get it back with the seal still unbroken.
And we turn it over to the lab. They break the seal and subject the mercury and the container to every known test. The verdict? Just ordinary mercury. And nothing wrong with the container, inside or out.
Well, what about Karen Lorimer and her mother? They never saw that fake nephew, huh?
No, they got a phone call to Gene Saturday rather than to leave him at the spaceport.
Oh. And that's how this fellow got them out of the apartment, to give him time to search it, right?
Yes. One of our agents checked their story. Evidently, neither Karen nor her mother are involved in this, sir. Space Patrol Headquarters, Commander Corey here.
Commander, this is Joseph Satterley, Gene's father.
Yes, Mr. Saturday.
It's about my son.
Yes?
I've heard from him. He's here in Jupiter City.
Did he come to your shop?
No, he won't. He asked for money. I told him I'd bring it to him.
Are you positive it was your son?
It was Gene, all right. But he sounded so strange, so disturbed. Something is terribly wrong, Commander, more than I ever believed. I can tell by his voice. He isn't just afraid of being arrested. He's in danger. Dreadful danger.
I'll help him all I can, Mr. Saturday. Where is he?
He's at 43 Alpha Street, Jupiter City. I'm to bring the money at 2100 hours.
43 Alpha. You've got 40 minutes. Stay in your shop, Mr. Saturday. I'll keep that appointment for you. Corey out. All right. I'm not sure whether this is a rescue or a capture, but we're going after Gene Saturday.
In a back room of the Goda plastic plant, Gene Satterley is securely bound in a chair, while Mogren stands over him threateningly.
I'll give you one more chance, Satterley. And I'm going to get rough. Tell me how you marked these mercury atoms.
Why should I tell you? You get rid of me anyway.
I don't think of your father. He'll be here in a few minutes. Don't want anything to happen to him, do you?
Look, Morgan, you and this Polidor, whoever he is, you forced me to be a spy. I've ruined my career and my life. Nothing you could do to my father could hurt him worse than that.
There's still Karen Lorimer to consider. You wouldn't want her to suffer.
Why, you rotten...
Compared to what you're going to get. You're not just defying me, you're defying Polidor, the greatest genius in the universe.
Well, why don't you bring him here? Let him work on me.
Well, I know Polidor is watching us right now, listening to everything we say. My job is to get that secret out of you. It's my neck or yours. So talk.
Shortly before 2100 hours, Buzz and Happy stalked silently toward a sprawling, darkened structure at 43 Alpha Street. Cautiously, Buzz tries the door. He finds it unlocked. Ray guns drawn, they enter the building and softly close the door behind them.
The room's empty.
There's another door on the other side. Now, close this door to me.
This must have been a stair room. It's big enough.
Saturday may be behind that other door watching us through a peephole. Let's go to the door. I'll try the door. Darkness will help us as much as Saturday.
They've got ray guns.
Fire toward those sounds. Don't move. Lights are on again.
The room is empty. Oh, it's you. Where did you come from?
Through the door. Well, you were firing at phantoms. Someone was in here when the lights were out. We heard them. Did you really? Now, you must be imagining things. There's one thing that isn't imaginary. A feeling of weakness creeping over you. Your arms turning to lead.
The fatigue ray.
Oh, that's right. You've been in the radiation field for more than a minute now. The cadets all...
Give me that gun.
Pull the door!
Pull the door! Help me! Pull the door! Pull the door!
Oh, what a neat left hook. Boy, that fatigue ray sure didn't work on you this time, Commander.
Not as much as you thought it did. Here, I better get you out of the ray field.
Thanks, sir. I'll be okay.
Commander Corey!
Somebody's in the next room.
You keep an eye on this fellow in case he comes to.
Yes, sir.
Well, Saturday.
Commander, you saved my life. This fellow Bogren, he was going
We
to...
took care of him. What about his pal, this Polidor? Come on, Saturday, speak up. There's someone else in the building. We heard him.
I heard him, but he isn't here. I know you think I'm crazy, but it's true. Polidor is a demon, a master criminal. Get me out of here, and I'll tell you all I know.
Later at Space Patrol headquarters in Jupiter City, Buzz and Happy questioned Gene Satterley.
Then this is the way you smuggled secret information out of our cabin. You found a way to tag individual atoms of mercury with different types of radiation.
Yes. When the mercury samples were scanned with certain rays, the marked atoms would discharge their radiation. The pattern was registered on microfilm and decoded electronically.
And Polidor's agents could intercept shipments of mercury to scan them without breaking the seal.
That's right. And then pass them on to their proper destinations.
And without special equipment, nobody could detect these tattooed atoms.
That's why Polidor was safe in ordering Moglen to return that container to you here at headquarters.
What secret information was in that sample of mercury, the one you sent your father?
Ironically, no government secrets, Commander. Just a full confession of my part in Polidor's scheme. And the names of some of his agents.
A confession? Well, then when Polidor decodes that microfilm, he'll be tipped off.
I thought I could outsmart Polidor and the Space Patrol. But I waited too long and got in too deep. But I'm glad it's over.
It's over for you, Saturday, but for Happy and me, the job is just beginning.
Yes, sir, but how do we fight someone we can't see? Polidor's invisible. We can't tell where he'll strike next.
No, but we can provide a tempting target. When Polidor does strike, you'll be ready.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure brought to you by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages.
Captain Twofells, want to see something real keen?
You bet, Space Patroller.
Okay, then, take a look. Right here in my backyard.
Wowee, a totem pole.
A Martian totem pole, and mine's higher than any of the other fellas, because I got more totem heads.
And Space Patrollers, you can build yourself one of these swell totem poles, too. You make them out of Man from Mars totem heads. Stack them one on top of the other just as high as you want.
The same Man from Mars totem head you wear over your head, with magic forehead vision that lets you see out, but nobody else can see in.
Yes, sir, those neat totem heads are more than 12 inches high in real Martian totem colors. Red and yellow, green and black.
And it's real easy to get lots of totem heads with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box tops. Listen, gang.
For every Man from Mars totem head you want, send a Chex box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. And now, an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz is searching a cavern on Neptune, looking for Happy, who's been captured by an agent of the master criminal Polidor.
Happy, where are you?
Here, Commander. But I'm tied up.
I'll be right with you. Hap, what's that?
Just one of Polidor's tricks. He's trying to scare us with sound.
Already, you are only a few yards from the Cadet, and I am on another planet. But what? You will never reach the Cadet.
Commander, look out! The gate is closing!
It's no use, Commander. You both my prisoners.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Cavern of Fear. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Dever. Other players were Bela Kovach, Norman Jelly, Ken Mayer, and Stephen Robertson. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program was broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.